And then next thing you know, like I left the club, boom, got the fedora, like frontside 360 flip nose blunt the next day. Like, you know what? It's working.
This fedora's really working out. All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Greg Lutzka is with us.
Man.
You did the second one for me, so I
Dude,
went
I've been
straight to the third.
True.
You're the first one to ever do that, I think. To break Chris's special.
Hey, listen, if they want
I've been watching this show for a minute, dude. You guys are on like over 300 episodes. I was like, he's always special. Special. He puts people on blast like that.
No, I like to get the juices flowing. You know what I'm saying, Greg?
Yeah. No, I love it, man. I'm super hyped to be here.
Dude, thanks for coming, dude. This is going to be great, man. A lot of questions, a lot of stories we want answers to. A lot of things, you know, like
a lot of deals.
Deals,
big
you know,
deals. Big deals.
certain hats that be
the
were
fedora.
worn. Yeah. That's one of them.
Straight out of a cartoon character, man.
What was it? You just went. You had a fedora face. Were you sponsored by the fedora company?
You want to go right into it?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. I think at that time, like I started hanging out with Tall Cooperman, right? And shout out Tall. And he introduced me to Benji and Joel Madden. I was kind of living in LA at the time, and those dudes just always rocked the fedoras. And
I know who Tall is.
Tall's amazing.
familiar.
Yeah, Tall's amazing. And that's how like all started, you know what I mean? And then from there, just like going out, hanging out with those guys at night, having a good time, like.
They're
just
nightlife guys.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Tall was for sure.
Yeah.
Like I had moved up to LA, and I was probably, I don't know, 21, 22 years old, going to those clubs and like doing that whole thing.
As you should.
Skating a ton, yeah. And then next thing you know, like I left the club, boom, got the fedora, like frontside 360 flip nose blunt the next day. Like, you know what? It's working.
This fedora's really working out.
I'm like, man, it's
natural.
It's working.
Did you really feel a certain way about the fedora, or you just were like, I'm psyched on this hat? Because sometimes your clothing and shoes matter, right?
Yeah.
But
I think
you just rocked it.
I just, can't. It's like Jim Greco comes out the club with the leather jacket on, back three. Like I don't know.
Okay.
You did what felt comfortable, and that made you feel like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like one of those. It was just like that era of just hanging out, and I don't know, just going out and like I don't know, just. That was just me, I guess.
I mean, not that many people, like people later on, but nobody was wearing fedoras and skating.
But it was kind of funny, like going back to my hometown, or just going anywhere, actually. People would notice me, like almost like Lil Jon, like, oh, there's Lil Jon. They'd be like, oh, that's Lutzka because he got the fedora. I could have it. Like, I don't even wear it nowadays. I just wear like a normal, I don't know, baseball hat or beanie or whatever. But yeah, like I wore it to my premiere for my documentary. People were like, oh, the fedora.
Oh, you had to.
Yeah. And, but there was a point, I swear, that people would recognize me just because of that damn fedora.
Right.
I would go to whatever, the Dew Tour or X Games, and be like, oh, that's Lutzka for the fedora. I could have like a normal baseball hat and they wouldn't even recognize me.
It's a part of your ID.
Yeah,
crazy.
you had like custom ones, right? I mean, this is a new
there you
era.
go.
This is inside the new era Greg Lutzka fedora hat.
Yeah.
What?
We did a whole collab with with New Era, and then Oakley too. We did a whole collection. It was called the Good Living Collection. So I did a signature sunglass with Oakley, and then we built it as a collection. It came with a hat and working with I forgot.
Really,
I almost forgot about that, but
Greg Lutzka starter kit, right?
Yeah, there's the starter kit. There is the starter kit.
You were taking it and running with it, bro. That's good. That's good. Which I feel like you did with a lot of things. I mean, there's so many questions that I have just off the top of my head, but I want to maybe get started with like, growing up, you were, a hockey player, right?
Yeah.
You played hockey and then you kind of transitioned into skateboarding. You found skating and you never looked back, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the Midwest. My parents, my dad grew up in northern Minnesota. My mom grew up in Milwaukee, right? And I ended up growing up in Milwaukee. My dad moved down to Milwaukee. Growing up in northern Minnesota, like that's what they did was, grow up playing ice hockey. So me and my brother played ice hockey. I think I was on ice skates at age like 2. Nice. And now looking back, I'm like, man, that probably helped out my skating because it just,
balance,
skateboarding, balance, and like having stronger legs or whatever. And then I want to think like I was probably like 8. Yeah, I was probably like 8 years old, and like a couple kids on the hockey team like skateboarded. And like at that time, I started listening to like Nirvana and like grunge rock, and like dude, Nirvana was kicking ass back then.
Hell yeah.
So say wearing baggy pants, I dyed my hair blue, like and red, and whatever Kurt was doing. You know what I mean? So that was like a whole thing. And then I remember I went up to Michigan State. Went there for like a hockey whatever it was, because we were on AAA. Like I was on AAA ice hockey, right? So like it's where you travel and whatever, top team. And I think I just came back home and I was like, dude, I just want to skate. Like I'm kind of done with the team sport crap and I just want to skateboard, right? So downstairs, so we didn't have a skate park growing up, right? There was the turf. I don't know if you heard of the turf in Milwaukee, but like when I was growing up, it was just closing down. So we didn't have like a public skate park, right? Okay. And then Neil Levin, who started Four Seasons Skate Park, which I think you guys might have been. Yeah, Four Seasons. I remember watching Chocolate Video. Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Yeah, I look up to you guys, man. It's good to be here right now. I'm a super fan right here. So so Four Seasons came about. My mom worked for the city. And Neil Levin was trying to get a skate park approved in the city, and my mom helped get a $50,000 grant from the city to open up a skate park.
Wow.
So, and she's like, well, my son skates, right? So like, yeah, let's make this happen, you know. And the city really needed a skate park. We did.
I mean, shout out to Four Seasons. They've been around
forever.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was all because of your mom got helped get the grant from the city.
That's
cool. That's incredible.
Crazy. Yeah. So from there, Neil was just so like grateful. He's just like, dude, you're welcome here anytime, and you don't have to like pay or anything. So like, it was a blessing for me because like, dude, I just went there every single day. And then as I got older, like I started skipping school and like ending up at the skate park, and my parents didn't really like that much, but it all worked out, and you know, it is what it is. I actually ended up leaving school at one point, but.
As a lot of skaters do.
We'll get that to a little bit later. But so yeah, I would just skate every single day and like literally like 6-8 hours a day. And my progression really started because of being in a skate park, right? And learning all these tricks and having good friends there that were pushing me, right? And then when I moved to California, like I hated skate. And to this day, I still hate skate parks because I just grew up in one. So like for me, like I feel like when I moved to California, like it was just beautiful weather, perfect street spots, by the way, like perfect ledges, perfect rails, no cracks before. Like the Midwest is like crazy. Oh man, it's just like rough. It's rough, you know? So like, and just, I think just being in the skate park for like 6 months out of the year, and the other couple months it's raining, right? Is like when I moved to California, I was like, you couldn't pay me to go to skate park.
But you were still like doing the contest scene too, though, which is kind of skate park-ish.
Which the only reason why I did good in the contest was because of Four Seasons.
Sure.
And I remember when I moved to Huntington, we would skate like the Huntington Park, like the Tom Penny Park. I call it the Tom Penny Park, the high school. Yeah. But it wasn't like the park that like I grew up at. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Nija's training facility kind of park. You know what I mean? Back then, no one really had a training facility, I feel like.
Wait, when you moved out to LA, were you already sponsored? Or you moved out here to get sponsored? No,
like I grew up in Milwaukee.
Sure.
I got sponsored by Beer City Skateboards, right? It's a local little company. And then Mark Zitzer, which is Paul Zitzer's brother, got me on Phase 2. And then I started getting flowed some like S shoes. Shout out S. Shout out Kelly. Yeah. Don Brown. I didn't know Don Brown back then, but and then from there, I went to Tampa. This is actually what really happened. I went to Tampa and competed there, and I was doing all right. Like as a kid growing up skateboarding in the Midwest, I skated some contests back then. I think, you know, like I was 14 years old or 15 years old. I went to Tampa, and shit was real out there, man. Like the skating level is so high, and I won the worst fall award.
The worst fall.
Yeah, dude. Like I went to lip slide the rail in my, and I was pretty like not that tall. I think I was like 15 or something like that. And I went to go lip slide the rail, and I just like caught and just like nutted. And then I just remember like going to the award. Like I was like, man, I didn't get my run, right? But I remember going to the awards, and all of a sudden I get my name called out by Clyde Singleton, bro.
Did he give you some money?
He gave me $100 out of his pocket, bro. I was like,
no way.
Yeah. So then, dude, that shit was awesome. Shout out, dude. That was amazing.
Were you stoked on getting?
Yeah, dude. Like that was crazy. So at least I came home with something.
Was it a front lip or back lip?
Just a front lip. It was nothing.
I did the same shit.
It wasn't crazy,
bro. I did the same shit. Yeah.
Like
did you get an award?
I did not get an award. No one saw it. It was in practice.
Yeah.
But I did it in practice. But that's funny.
Do you remember back then? Like Clyde would be at all the contests, calling out people like the fashion police. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
he's quick to ridicule you.
He was.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason he liked me, and he's just like,
he's a sweetheart, bro.
Yeah, he's just like, I love your fall, man. Here's $100. So I went back to Milwaukee. Hey, dude, that's some real shit. So I went back to Milwaukee, skated a ton at Four Seasons, and then I started putting my all right, dude, because I seen how if I want to do it, and I knew I wanted to be a skateboarder, and I knew I wanted to do this for a living because I was growing up watching. Welcome to Hell, and Muska was a favorite skater of mine that he ended up doing shorties later, but I was waiting for his part to be in the Toy Machine video.
Okay, yep.
And so I just watched that, man. I was like, man, I want to move to California. I'd send out sponsor me tapes. I don't think I was good enough at that point to get there, but Tampa really kicked me in gear.
Sure.
I think I've only worked one job my whole life. I was a paper boy when I was 14. Okay. Dude, I did that shit for 2 weeks.
Riding
I was
the bike, throwing the paper.
I didn't even have a bike, dude. There were so many papers. Dude, it was so heavy, dude. I had a wagon, bro. It just carry the wagon, just and then I just remember being so bored, oh, this is not my life. And
how old are you? Come on,
14, 15. Yeah. I'm just saying, I didn't grow up with a rich family. I grew up in the basement at my parents' house, right? So I mean, they were always supportive. When I needed a new board, they'd get me a new board. But you got to make your own money too. So
for sure. Paper out wasn't cutting it,
and they work hard. My dad worked third shift, 2 different jobs. At one point, my mom, worked. It was just there was no babysitters. They worked their ass off. We didn't grow up in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood that California, is out to be.
You were seeing the parents struggle in that sense. I mean, if you have 3 jobs, that's not. Easy thing to do.
And back then, I think their rent was only. I talked to my dad about it, $450. It wasn't much, but still, it was we didn't grow up rich or anything like that.
Are you the only child?
No, I got a younger brother.
Oh, okay.
Andy. Yeah.
Okay.
So you moved out to LA before you left school and moved out to LA.
Yeah. Let me get to that. Okay, so then I went back to Milwaukee, skated my ass off. Went back to Tampa the next year. That's where I met Al Partnan. Al's from Milwaukee, right? And Al, that weekend, we just connected. That weekend, I did good.
Okay.
That weekend, I was on fire. Boom. He's I want to take you on tour with us. I started coming back. I got, business cards from the guys at Spitfire and then Independent Trucks and, all this stuff. And, dude, my life changed after that. And then I went on tour with Al, and then we did, a Big Brother tour. Remember Big Brother magazine?
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was cool. Shout out Chris Naracco bringing me on that trip, and Al.
What was it for? Millennium?
That was for Millennium. Yeah, that was for Millennium. Okay. So at that point, Millennium was just kind of building too, and that was Al's brand, right? That he built, and he's from Milwaukee too. So dude, he gave me so much opportunity. And then I came back from that trip, went back home, and then at that time I was kind of doing homeschool a little bit, and then I'd fly out to California, and then he would hook me up with literally Dave Swift, which I know who Dave Swift was at the time. That's a dude from the main guy in Transworld, photographer, and then he hooked me up with Joe Krooked, got me on 4-1. Then I got met with Chris Ortiz. Then from there I got hooked up with Bill Weiss and Dennis Martin, got me in digital. And dude, Al just had all the connections, but he never told me this shit. He was just oh yeah, we're going skating today. We're going to San Dieguito Rail. I'm like, well, who? He's like, oh, just some buddies. Dave's gonna shoot some photos, and yeah.
So he didn't want to put the homies. Not put the pressure on.
Yes. No pressure, and that's where my I think that day at San Dieguito, I did the front blunt down the San Dieguito rail, and it ended up being my first 4-1 opener. And Joe Krooked and Bo Crum shot that. And dude, it
shout out to both of them, by the way.
Yeah, and that was so cool, man. And I had no Carl Watson was there. It was so cool, seeing Carl. I was fanning out, That's and the San Dieguito spot too. I was always a big fan of Tom Penny, right? So Tom Penny switch flip over the rail in the hallway. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jeff Raleigh back 3 lipped that rail. So nerding out yeah, there it is, the San Dieguito rail.
That was the 13, right?
Wow. Yeah, that was the one that Arto got. Broke off on the Sorry video.
Yeah, he got smoked.
And so I front blunted that. That ended up being an opener in 4-1. And then I think Krooked, because I met him that day, and Dave Swift, they're yeah, let's do an interview for Transworld. I was like, say less, let's get
Real
it.
Quick, what, Kelly, what do you know what one that was?
I can't remember.
4-1.
I'm going to say it's in the 30s, maybe?
No, it was 49.
49, okay, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, 49.
Okay. So, this is something we kind of,
once
Kelly with.
Once it hits into the 40s, I kind of start, I don't remember. Because I was I'm the same age as you.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I watched it like crazy, but then when I got older, like it wasn't as I didn't watch it.
Dude, we need a 4-on-1. I mean, now it's like iDabble is kind of like the new 4-on-1, which is super dope.
Sure.
But yeah, what happened, man? Like the 4-on-1 day. Oh man, I'm glad we grew up in the era that we grew up in skateboarding.
Totally.
Because this new era, man, it's just like I'm burnt on social media. I can't even do it. Like
But these kids, that's all they know.
I know.
That's all they know.
Yeah,
But and watching skate videos too, like watching like The End and the chocolate videos and Girl Mouse. And like, dude, this was like Girl Mouse is like the Bible, bro. Like I will watch that over and over and over and over and get hyped to go skate. And nowadays, like I feel like these kids, they just watch, they go to Thrasher, they see Shane's part for one time, and then it's on to the next part. And they never watch it again. It's like that, like the Sorry video, man, the Welcome to Hell video, I memorized that video. Like
for sure.
Like the songs, I would hear those songs on the radio, and it was just like
you knew exactly. Like, damn, that was this dude's part at this time. Like,
for sure.
Nowadays, it's like I don't like even me. Like I love skateboarding, and like I'm a huge fan of it. I can't even. There's just so much content or so many video parts that come out. I can't even.
But are
remember.
we just old? Greg, I mean, like, do the kid? I don't know. I don't know either. To these kids, do they watch the Shane O'Neill part a couple times, or
I do. I do because
right.
I appreciate. I appreciate art and skateboarding, and by the way, Shane's like by far my favorite skater, like to this day.
Oh wow!
Yeah, by far. But growing up, like Penny, Muska, which Penny's still one of my favorite skaters, of course.
He's the best.
Jamie Thomas, of course, you know, Reynolds, the frontside. The whole reason why I do frontside flips is because of Reynolds, you know, like wanted to do it the way he did it, you know.
It's pretty rad to have generations of like favorite skaters in that sense.
Oh, yeah.
I think we all can be like, I like that generation of this guy and I like this, you know what I mean?
And Shane O'Neill is one of those dudes too. Like he was supposed to get on Almost. When I signed with Almost, he was supposed to get on there, and he was from Australia. They used to call him Nugget.
Yeah.
And they just never put him on, dude. I was like, what the hell? He's like, he's awesome.
But maybe it was so far away.
They put on Lewis Marnell, and then Lewis and Shane were really close, and I couldn't believe they didn't put on Shane, or they were kind of messing around with, like, I don't know.
His, like,
skateboarding's weird.
Sometimes things happen like that, bro.
Yeah.
You see his early footage. There's like a really good edit of Shane from like it looks like his whole career until like I don't know 2013.
Yeah,
and he has
Nugget. They call him Nugget back in the day.
Yeah, it's all Almost boards in the beginning.
Yeah, all Almost boards.
Yeah.
And I think they just like float them or whatever. Right. So I guess going back to it, so I started coming out to California, right? And then I'd fly back to Wisconsin, and I just got burnt on being back home, right? And I went to Germany, and I did my first, Millennium turned me pro, right? Because I came out with the 4-on-1 part, I think a digital part too. Yeah, Bill, yeah.
Because you were filming with Bill
Weiss. Yeah, there we go. So 4-on-1, 49, that came out. That was Wheels of Fortune. So I was filming that. And then when I came to California, I would skate with Paul Macnug, Glia Monbalou, Mike Hasty, stay on Bill Weiss's couch pretty much, and drink Coors Light sometimes. And I was probably like 17, right? Like,
that's the beginning.
You're just out there filming.
Whatever. Like, you know, I skated with Appleyard a ton. You know, Appleyard was filming. He was in the same video as me, which was Invasion. So he really, he really pushed me big time too. Right. And that was like, he was filming for that. And I feel like he was filming for Sorry, but not Sorry wasn't like promoted yet. You know what I mean?
Beginning phases.
So my digital part came out, and then Al turned me pro. And I at this time, I think I went to, that's what happened. I went to Germany for the first time, and I won the very first pro contest I went into. I won the World Cup, Germany, Dortmund. And that was in 2004.
That was like 30 grand or something, right?
That's how it got me to California.
That's just the winnings from that.
Yeah. Like when I was back home, my dad bought me like a $2,500 Honda Civic. Right? Did we all have Honda Civics? Like first car.
That's a good go-to.
Yeah.
I had a Toyota Corolla as well.
Yeah, there we go. So
Honda Accord.
So so I had a Honda Civic, and it was just an older vehicle or whatnot, and I won that 30 grand. I came back, and I was like,
I'm gone.
I'm moving to California.
How old were you at this point?
16, 17.
17?
Yeah,
you left. You left school and everything. You moved.
No, not yet. I was talking to John Bunch and Pat Acuff, which are two of my good buddies, in November, basically in November, and then I remember like Christmas was coming up. I told my parents like right after Christmas I'm moving to California. John Bunch and Pat Acuff are moving with me. And we're all moving to this place in Huntington Beach, right off Warner and Golden West, where the Warner mob was. That's why I knew about Warner because of
Warner Ave.
Warner Ave.
100%.
And we lived in this one little, like this 1-bedroom apartment. Basically, there was 4 mattresses, like mine, John Bunch, Pat Acup, and then if you had a chick, you could pull your mattress out to the living room area.
Okay, yeah.
And then
sock on the doorknob.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, back then they would you'd take wheels and chuck them at the homie. Like,
oh, wait, you moved out and were you planning on going to school out here?
No.
Okay.
I told my parents, I was like,
you were done.
Yeah, I was done. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna. We'll figure it out later.
For sure.
And then my mom my mom was bummed. She's like, I don't know. And my dad's just like, let's just be supportive.
Well, let's be honest about it though. Back then, what parent thinks that there's a future in skateboarding?
Yeah. I mean,
there's none.
Especially in Wisconsin.
Especially in Wisconsin. And in Wisconsin, it's like there wasn't. I don't feel like there was that many well out here, if you grew up in Huntington Beach and you're like, I want to be a pro surfer, it's like, all right, the ocean's right here.
True.
Like for me, like in the Midwest, like there wasn't that many skaters in middle school. Probably like 4 maybe.
You didn't even have a park to grow up in, except for when 4 seasons came around,
but that was a little bit later on, and so I probably skated that park like 4 or 5 years, and those 4 or 5 years made a big difference.
Was there
in my skateboarding?
Was there any other pros coming out of Wisconsin?
I was gonna say there are, but not in my era. So like you had like Tyrone Olsen, Madison.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Dave Mayhew, Madison, Madison, Wisconsin. Both of them are Madison, Wisconsin. Sam Hitz, Al Partnan, Milwaukee. Navarrete, which is Minnesota. Steve Nesser. Steve Nesser is Minnesota. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think. Aneen Williams is Chicago.
Aaron Snyder.
Aaron Snyder. Aaron Snyder
so they started popping up.
Okay, but they were already out here.
Okay. Yeah.
They were already out here. They weren't like, it wasn't like, they were a little bit older than me. Like, I think Dave Mayhew's shoe came out when I was in high school. Like, whoa, the Mayhew, the D3.
Right, when you were coming out of there wasn't really anybody else at that present moment that was making the push as well.
Maybe Neen, Chaz, because Chaz was a little bit younger. So like, I was 17, he's probably 14.
But you moved out here with a couple dudes from your zone.
Yeah, just like homies that I skated with. Yeah.
But were they trying to make a push too? Or were they not?
I think they
just wanted to leave.
I think they wanted to leave. Okay. But they wanted
a combination of both.
I mean, a combination of both. They definitely were great, talented skaters, but I don't think they were gonna like. We just all love skateboarding, right? Yeah. So all of us just skated together. I mean,
that's rad that your dad was like let him just ride the passion. You know what I mean? Because you never know.
Yeah, yeah. And now I look back,
if you see your son or daughter like passionate about anything, I think it's a good thing to support it.
Yeah. So my parents were super supportive. Moved to California. Here's the thing: Bunch was dating some girl back home, and he got burnt out. She come out and fly out. He left in like 6 months. So then me and Pat were there, and I'll go on tour, and I'm just very like trustworthy person. So I just leave my BMW keys or whatever. I come back and my car freaking got the Elvis Presley CD. I'm like, I don't really listen to Elvis, And he lied to me. He's like, I'm like, dude, I don't care if you took a chick on a date in my car. Like,
Elvis Presley CD?
Yeah, he had like Elvis. And I'm like thinking, I don't really listen to Elvis. I mean, I love Elvis.
He left it in there.
Hey, what a
this is random.
Hey, by the way, this was at the time. This was I shouldn't really say this, but I'm going to say it. This is Chet's first wife, right? So this was her sister that Pat went out with.
Okay.
So I think she was a little bit older. He just wanted to impress her with some Elvis. Or I don't know.
So you were bummed, but just because he wasn't straight with you.
Well, because I asked him, and then he like lied to me, right? So I was like, really? Like,
you're like, I got the Elvis CD.
Yeah.
I don't listen.
What's this, buddy?
On some real, I was like, dude, whatever. It's all good.
You didn't pass the test, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So anyways, we had a 1-year lease there, right? Or 1 year, basically 1 year in the apartment, right?
Sure.
And then I think he ended up moving in with her after like 10 months. And like I had bought, that time I started making some decent money in skateboarding. I bought my first condo when I was 18 or 19.
You bought your first
condo. Yeah, when I was 18.
How were you making the money? Where was the bulk of the money coming from? It wasn't coming from Millennium, was it?
No. Oh, we skipped that part. So yeah, I was at Millennium for some time.
But wait. Then, where was it? Were you on Globe at this point?
Yeah. We skipped a whole little chapter there. So
Millennium went out of business.
Yes, Millennium went out of business. I got sponsored by Globe because of Mike Peterson that was on Millennium, hooked me up with the Globe guys. From there, I got introduced to Rodney Mullen, who is just like changed my entire life.
Yeah.
Like,
Can we
round 3
changed a lot of our lives in that time.
Can you answer me one question though? When Millennium went out of business,
Yes.
were you getting calls from the Muska,
Yes.
Templeton?
Yes.
You were getting
Yes.
calls from all these people
Correct.
that wanted you on their team.
Correct. Yes. Chad called my phone for shorties. Ed Templeton. I was always Tony Hawk called. Yep. For Birdhouse. He did. He called my parents. I feel like that's like before I moved to California a little bit. It was like in between, because when I moved to California, I think I'd already transferred over to almost. It was a while back.
Did Millennium?
Millennium completely went out of business, but I wanted to ride it as long as possible. At that time, I was also sponsored by Volcom, right? So I was traveling with Scheckler and the Volcom crew, and then Remy Stratton wanted me to go to Deluxe because I was getting wheels from Spitfire, and I think before I was on Indy, I got some trucks from Thunder. So for a minute there, I almost rode for Krooked, and then Gons did 2 board graphics. And
I thought you did ride for Krooked.
Yeah, I did for a quick moment, right? And they made like 110 of one and 130 the other one. So I just call it like a guest pro model.
I was going to say, was that before guest boards? Like,
yeah, it was like, and at that time I didn't really have a contract or something with them.
You had an ad?
Yeah, I did have an ad. Yeah, that's at my high school too, that switch flip. Look at it, it's cold. I got gloves on.
Okay, so when Millennium was going out of business, everybody was calling you. What you were in 411s. You were making your rounds. Were you in contest scene also? Is this why everybody wanted you on their team? What was going on back then?
I feel like back then, like I did some contests. Like obviously I did the Germany one, which we talked about.
That's when you won.
But I feel like I always. I was filming. Well, I filmed the 411 video.
Yep.
The digital video.
Yep.
I was on Krooked. Yep, those are the boards right there.
Wow.
Dude, those were sick.
Do you have any of those still?
I do, yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh,
yeah. Shout out Gons, dude. Did that artwork for me. It
seems like you do archive stuff. We saw the little
the book
that you brought here with obviously I think your mom, you said your
parents
mom did
put that together. I don't know where that's at.
It's right behind you.
Yeah, there you go.
But so when they hit you, I'm just trying to be in your shoes back then. Right?
Okay. So
everything's coming together.
Yeah. So
you're like, what? All these people are hitting you up, and you're like, what do I do? You went to Krooked, obviously, for a hot second.
Because
the boards came out.
Because I went to Krooked because Remy was more like pushing me that direction. Like, Krooked
be the deluxe brands.
He wanted me with the deluxe brands. I was friends with like Mickey and like.
Why did he want you over there?
I don't know, man. He just
it's
like
a good look.
It is a good look.
Definitely a good look.
Yeah.
And Krooked was just starting.
Yeah, Krooked was dope. I mean, at that time, I didn't really have like agreement or nothing with anyone, but verbal, like, I'll ride for Krooked, right? Check it out. I started riding the boards. Obviously, did an ad. Rode for Spitfire at the time. And here's the thing about Deluxe too. If you ride for Deluxe and you leave Deluxe, they kind of can blacklist your ass.
Well, they used to,
right?
Used to
Nowadays, maybe not so much. Now, I mean, I got a cover still on
probably could still happen, but I mean,
But back in the day, Kelly, you can probably vouch for that. Like.
Yeah, I never had a part of that in any way, but I would hear those things.
I skated for real back in the day, and I didn't get no ridicule at all.
Me neither. I did
for like a good 8 months. It wasn't like a good reign, but after I quit real to skate for blind, I didn't get no it was all love.
Yeah, me too. I had all love, but I heard of skaters having.
Let's be honest, though.
Yeah,
it's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of it. Skateboarders, bro. They'll just leave and not saying nothing.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, bro.
Yeah.
You're done over here.
That's true. I mean? That's true. And Rodney. So I became friends with like Chet and Rodney, right? And Rodney calls my phone. He's like, dude, like, I don't know what's going on at Krooked. And like, I know Millennium's done.
But wait, what do you mean you don't know what's going on at Krooked?
Well, no, that's what Rodney said to me,
okay.
And I said, I don't know, man. He like Gons did a couple boards. And he's like, who do you skate with? I'm like, well, a lot with Scheckler. He's like, but you're down here in SoCal. You're on Globe. And, it was one of those things. He's like, well, I'm creating this brand. And
did he say Scheckler was going to ride for Almost?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. He told me like, yeah, Ryan's going to ride for us. He didn't have a name though. When we first talked, he's like, I don't have a name for the company, but we're creating something special. And I can just tell you it's going to be with myself, Daywan, Shex, Haslam, Cooper Wilt.
It's a good squad.
And I was like, dude, this is like awesome. This is like an honor to be part of this. And, I think this might be a good fit. Like, I'm already on Globe. I skate with Shex a lot. I was traveling, doing some contests. I think that's like right when the Dew Tour and all that came out.
Okay.
Signed with Almost. That's kind of when I was living in that apartment. So we kind of skipped forward a little bit.
Yeah,
so
that's all good.
I think Almost came out right as I was buying that condo. right? So I filmed that whole part in like 8 months, by the way.
Wow. Round 3?
Yeah, that whole part. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, like I moved to California in, like I said, in I think it was January, and we filmed all the way until like October,
but
maybe.
That part changed your life. Changed
completely,
your,
yeah. And I filmed with Hoops, like, and at that time, like,
Hoops.
it was, Hoops, good old Hoops. Well, the kids know him as Dr. Purple Teeth. I know,
AKA Hoops.
That's his Insta handle.
That's his Insta handle. But just looking back, there it goes.
We already partying.
Almost legal. I was always crazy.
Look at that suit, dude.
Yo, so that's a Gucci suit off Canal Street in
downtown LA. The most fakest.
So it's like the fakest. Yeah. So we went on tour. I think this was like another Big Brother tour we went on, and that photo probably says it all.
The materials on that.
But yeah, Al shot that photo.
Talking about old heads,
dude. Al, like literally, Al shot that photo like on a I don't even know if we had digital cameras back there. Just like a disposable, and they just almost was cool because they just like had fun with it. And next thing you know, I'm in the ad, and then they made a board graphic off of it. It was like a whole thing. And why it says almost legal, I think, because I was 17.
Yeah, you're young.
So I was young.
So wait,
and we would sneak into like he would sneak me into the bars and like, dude, we just traveled.
You were out here like a rock star.
Yeah. Dude, we were just always skating, dude, traveling, partying, having fun. Like, dude, I just lived like the life that living the life that I, like wanted to come to California to do.
Let's just let's just like slow it down a little bit, because like when you got on Almost, you said that you filmed that part in like 8 months.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So this is almost round 3.
Yeah,
right?
Hoops pretty much brought me, or I came out here, met with Hoops, and we filmed that whole part in like 8 months. And I was just every day, never planned one trick, bro. Not one trick. I'm just like, just take me to, because everything was new to me. It's like, I look at it, I kind of said this earlier, it's like when I went to the Hollywood High for the first time, was like, whoa, dude, like all these tricks have been done. That's how I feel like being on the 9 Club right now. Like we're over how many episodes here? 300. There's a lot of history that went down right here.
Sure.
You're asking me a lot of questions, but there's a lot. I'm just looking around. I'm like, man, this is crazy just being here right now. So this place kind of makes me feel like going to the Hollywood High for the first time, looking at the tricks, looking at your switch flip, Manny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Interesting way to look at it, though. Real
so we filmed that whole part. It came out. Rodney called me. What song do you want to skate to? And like, I didn't really know, but I always loved Jimi Hendrix. So he's like, oh, that's a tough one. I go
for music rights.
I don't think they ever bought the music rights. I think
it's very renegade.
I think they just renegade styled it because
it came out in 2004. So we're on the cusp of like still maybe renegading.
I don't think Bill Weiss, all those dudes with digital.
Oh, Bill Weiss now. Anyway.
They just run that. I skated to Ozzy back then.
Yeah.
And they
Wait,
just
can you look those YouTubes up? Can you look those up on like your parts on YouTube, and they still have those original songs?
Some of them do actually.
Depends when you uploaded them.
Yeah,
because old YouTube they might have taken.
I think some of it you can actually hear the songs, maybe because the skating kind of tricked the algorithm or whatever.
Appleyard skating to like "Ain't No Sunshine."
Yeah,
Bill's not paying for any of that.
No. The only video that I filmed, I feel like that they actually paid for the rights, was the Rolling Stones, and that was the Oakley Arlight video. Oakley had Oakley had the money,
Yeah.
Wait, which video did you do with the
dance?
The dance. Yeah. What was that?
That was Justice.
Really he knew what I was talking about.
But it was really good.
Justice.
Hey, so I went to Coachella. And Justice was doing this thing there, and I don't know, like I really wasn't into that music.
What year was that?
Oh man, 2008.
Was that the year that Kanye was there? No.
Oh, I did. It might have. Yeah,
yes,
where Kanye came out with the red bandana. But Kanye performed during the day.
Yeah,
and he had the red bandana around. Yeah. Justice. That was the year.
That's pretty.
Madonna performed that year too, I think.
Actually, that might be different years.
I went like a couple times.
Yeah, they might have performed at the same time.
But I remember seeing Damian Marley, Madonna, Justice, Kanye. Freaking Tool was crazy. I don't even listen to Tool, but like Modest Yahoo was there. Like, I don't know. There's a bunch of.
Yeah.
But something sparked you with that song.
So anyways, my vision was like, and at this time I was like hanging out with Lil Jon, and he was in the music industry, and like, shout out John, by the way, he was on the Super Bowl. Yeah, shit, that was crazy.
That was nuts.
I was like, dude, yeah, John. He's done so much cool stuff, man. But he loves skateboarding. He came to my parents' house. Like, dude, he's great, right? I met him through Oakley. Lil Jon. Yeah.
Jumped right in there with that one.
Dude, he skated.
Listen, John came over. We had bagels for breakfast.
Yeah, he wanted chicken wings and Budweiser. Okay, and he raps about Patron, but he actually likes Don Julio. But.
You got to do what you got to do.
But anyways, yeah, John's the man. So he started skating way before even Lil Wayne.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So anyways,
But where did that song?
Well, that's where I'm going to it. So I watched some of these videos and I was like, oh man, we should do like a music video with skateboarding. And we just used kind of like a different kind of funky song. And I brought Lil Jon's in the shoot where I brought him in and I was like, dude, it'd be kind of sick. So I watched the Justice video and they had like, I don't know, it just had like a different vibe to it. And I was like, let's just do something completely off the like charts of like add in skating, add in partying, bring in Lil Jon, have this like wild music, like let's just do it. And it came out. But I was kind of bummed when it did come out because there it is. Yeah. All right. So when you're looking at the video, all those graphics on the t-shirt should be color, right? Because like in the video, I was like, yo, it should be color. And then I don't know why Globe didn't do it. Maybe they couldn't figure it out.
Okay,
but
so this was a Globe part.
It was a Globe part. Yeah. Right. So then...
United by Fate? No, wait.
Yeah.
United by Fate.
Damn, yeah, it was United by Fate. Right yeah, it was United by Fate. I probably filmed this part.
That stair is huge, dude.
How did the fedora ever fly off your head? I mean, I feel like it would.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Flex fit.
Now looking at it, I have no idea.
Okay.
The front 360 kickflip.
Dude, no one does. That was insane.
I think people really liked that. I was like, oh yeah, I mean,
on flat.
I ended up doing it. I ended up doing it over other things later on.
No one
does
it really like that.
So did you have to pay for you obviously paid for the music? Globe's kind of like,
I don't know if they did.
You just said, I want this and this is the vibe I want.
I was like, yeah, let's just rock with it. And then we brought in, we just made it like, and we literally like, Globe put down like $5,000 at this spot right here. See where like me and John are through. All my friends are there and we're just having a good time. $5,000 bar tab.
Oh shit.
And we just filmed it like a music video and then knocked in skating and I don't know, just kind of just made it fun. Like skating sometimes is so serious, you know? It's like, so I felt like why not just have fun with it and like, I mean.
So that was more your vision.
I think, yeah, for sure. Like I was like, because at the time I was just like traveling, partying, having fun and skating. That's all I wanted to do. So I was like, well, let's just show that like in real life of like, why not? You know?
I've never skated with you. We just actually met for the first time officially here.
Yeah.
But I heard that you're a skater that just goes. You go. You're not even waiting for filmers, photographers. Maybe this is not true, but
That's
I heard
true.
you just keep going and going and going. Like you're not even like. Some filmers like, hey, just chill. Let me get set up and everything, and you're just like, no, I'm rifling these off.
I think one of those
you get
things,
excited or something.
I think one of those things I just don't like thinking about things. So like if I go to the spot, and there's just too much like setting up this and that. I'm like, dude, we're here. Let me get a couple lip slides. And Hoops knows. I'm like, dude, now, like right now, like, like dude, like we're going like now, like we're filming now and like shit's going down. And I hate trying things 100 times. So like I'll just go straight in like. And back then I didn't, and to this day I still really don't stretch and I don't really like warm up that much. Back then I'd be like, oh yeah, grab my leg. Yeah, all right, we're warmed up. Go straight, ollie the set, lip slide the set, back lip the set. All right, let's go. Cape back lip, cape front board. Let's go. And then it was skateboarding's always been this way for me. It's like it was either all on, it's just working, or just not working.
Totally.
And when it ain't working, I look at Hoops. I grab my board. I said, we'll come back tomorrow or the next day because it ain't working. And then he's like, dude, when you're on, you're on.
Right.
When you're not, I'm like, let's not even push it. And then we just, you know what I mean?
Especially if you know yourself in that sense, dude. There's no sense in you getting hurt based on how you feel that day.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling good, don't do it.
And to be honest, like that was street skateboard. Like people sometimes labels me a contest skater because I won a bunch of contests, whatever. But like that's street skateboard. Now at contests, same thing. I'd either be on, and if I'm on in like the day before the finals or whatever, I already knew the next day was going to be shit.
When you're out street skating,
I already knew it because I was like, dude, there's no way I'm going to skate great 2 days in a row. It's never worked that way. I don't care if you eat pasta,
you try to replicate everything.
Never works, dude. Never works.
I got out of bed with my left foot instead of my right foot that day. I'm going to do the same thing.
Honestly, too, like if I skated, like just made it into prelims on that Saturday and then go into finals on Sunday, I knew I was gonna go win it because I was like Money Maloof Cup, right? Like in New York.
That's when you won $160,000.
Dude, we stayed up all night partying till like 6 a.m. My girlfriend got so pissed at me, Kayla. She's like, you gotta go to bed. It was like me, Sierra Fellers, and like all these homies like in the lobby. And like, dude, it's skate.
You're
like,
hype. That's all.
Dude, that's just like skateboarding, right? We're just having a good time. We're in New York. Like
you won $160,000.
Yeah, but I didn't plan to go do that the next day. I just didn't think about it the next day. Did I wake up kind of feeling like a little sluggish? Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. You know, like
whoa. You were partying the night before?
Oh yeah, to like 6, 7.
So then the next day you won 160,000
at 11 o'clock. We had to be at the contest.
But sometimes that
but I didn't think. But
alcohol.
No, it wasn't even about alcohol. I think it was just more like it. I didn't think about it.
Right.
I woke up just like it's another day. We're gonna go skate. I remember
Eric Costin has done the same thing, bro. He's gone out, got shit hammered the night. I'm sure a lot of these skaters
comes back and wins it,
and came back and won the next day.
You don't think about it.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're out,
and I'm not. Hang on. I'm not saying you should go do that.
No, not by any means.
And by any means, I am 38 years old now, and if I go to Tampa, which I'm going on for the 30th anniversary, you know, I won't be drinking the night before. I'll tell you that much.
You're gonna be out drinking acai.
But I also will probably be in 20th place.
There you go.
So if I really want to get first place, maybe I should go out to the bricks. But
let's bring the fedora back, and you know.
But hang on. So that going into the Maloof Cup, right? That next day, I wake up. Kayla's like, "Oh, really? How do you feel today?" I'm like, "I didn't feel the greatest." But I was like, "I feel great."
Yeah, you gotta act it off.
And I swear, I had to, you know, like I had to play it off. And I got there, and dude, it was like on. I was like, dude, we're in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna prove her wrong. I don't even know if I wanted to win the contest. I just wanted to prove her wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and then it's just like boom. And back then it was like different than any other contest. It wasn't like Tampa with runs. It was like Mortal Kombat. Like you had to battle these dudes. You know what I mean?
Right, was this the one in Orange County, or was this
the one in Orange County was? This is the one in New York City.
New York City.
The one in Orange County was the I won the best trick. Front 360 kickflip nose blunt or whatever. That was years before.
That might still be the only time anyone's done that trick.
Might be. Yeah.
I've never seen anyone do that.
Oh, this is the one. This is the one you won 160,000
ever.
Yeah, that's the New York.
What are you doing these things in a run, bro? Look at you. Hold on. There's a frontside flip. Look at this.
Oh, dude, I would think I was
270.
I skated in this one too. I think.
Did you go to that one?
I was there that one. I mean, there was because then they just opened the park, or it was
brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him. I could tell you're a little hungover there. No,
wait, that thing is still there? That part?
Yeah. They still have it. Yeah.
Now was that the biggest? That's the biggest contest winnings you ever got, right?
Yeah, 160.
I mean, they were giving
which
away,
is crazy about that day.
Loot back then.
Well, that day I won like 500,000 because
sponsors matching it.
Yeah.
Glow.
Like that day, no. At that time, I was on K-Swiss. K-Swiss came in like.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, yeah,
all right. Here we go.
When we go back, hold on. I had a couple questions though because I thought it was interesting. You just being a rifle off tricks left and right.
Yeah.
Would that ever frustrate filmers and photographers? Would they ever tell you like, dude, this fucking guy, I can't get set up, or were you just filming with hoops a lot because he honestly got you?
My whole career, I filmed with Bill Weiss in the beginning. He introduced me to hoops, and every single video part I filmed with hoops. So me and hoops became like best friends. He lived with me for 5-6 years. He met his wife at my house. You know what I mean? We'd have a bunch of people over and beer pong tables and just like. We were crazy. Yeah. Kelly's probably heard about some of the parties.
You might have been to some of my house. I went to a couple way back. Yeah,
like I got so I had that condo, and then I bought a house in Mission Viejo. It was like a 6-bedroom house with like big pool and mini ramp in the back, 10,000 square foot lot. And Hoops had just broken up with his girlfriend at the time. I was like, dude, move in. So he moved in. So we had this like big house that we just had a lot of fun at and skated and filmed every day. And dude, like that shit was life-changing, right? And got sponsored by Rockstar Energy, or before that was actually Monster. I was with Monster for 6 years, Monster Energy drink. Damn. Oakley, K-Swiss, I had a 5-year deal with a 5-year extension, got bought out like year 4, I think it was. Okay, and it was so I had a shoe that we designed.
Wait, real quick.
Hold on.
Who's doing your deal? Are you doing all this yourself? Or are you having somebody?
I can tell you this much: like nowadays, I the last 8 years, I manage myself. I won't have anyone manage me.
You just do all these deals yourself.
Well, back then I had.
You go into Walmart and you're like, "Hey, I got an idea, guys."
Yeah.
I manage myself, right?
Why?
I did start working with an agency that has helped me out with some deals, but for the most part, for the last 8 years, I did my own Harley Davidson deal, my own Aqua Hydrate deal.
Why?
Because I feel like you're going to be in charge of your own career. Like why put your career in someone else's hands? Now, when I was younger, I worked with Todd Hahn. Todd Hahn did bring in Toyota, K-Swiss, Monster, because he had those relationships, right? And I learned a lot through Todd of going through meetings and how he like set up pitch decks. And at the time I was just focused more on the skating side of things, which is great. Mm-hmm. And that's what I needed to be focused on. But hanging out with him, I learned like a little bit of the business the business side of things and how he would present me to brands.
So wait, his name is Todd Hahn?
Todd Hahn.
Now, did he work with other skaters? Or
No, he did some deals for PLG. He did Elena Height and Louis Vito in snowboarding. He worked with Twitch in motocross, Corey Nostalgia in motocross. They had a TV show on VH1 called The X Life that he helped put together with those guys and Joe Simpson. I think we just got to a certain point, like me and Todd worked together for like 6 years, and we did so many deals, bro. Like Visa cards. Like, dude, we did a tequila deal with not Patron, Jose Cuervo. It was crazy because I had a Jose Cuervo deal, but then I had a Monster deal, but they're non-conflicting, I guess. You know, it's
one's
kind of
alcohol,
crazy.
one's not, right?
Yeah. So
I think all these off-the-grid deals are fucking amazing, first and foremost, and no one really knew about them. So it's like
you were the first one to dive in really on that stuff,
dude. I chartered down different lanes that definitely we're not used to.
I got to be honest, dude. Like, I didn't graduate high school. I came to California and just like, I love skateboarding, and wherever this road's going to take me, I'm going to take opportunity and run with it. Right. So, you know, at that time, you're right. No one really rode for the energy drink companies. And like, it was me, Sheckler, P-Rod, Jeremy Rogers, and that's about it. Yeah. That's it. Right.
Maybe Chris Cole kind of came in.
That was later. That was later.
Were you getting shit from the industry?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think you didn't care, or you did.
No,
it had to affect you a little bit.
Honestly, I never gave a shit.
Really?
I feel like my whole career, like I just always built my own lane. Yeah. I was just going up, like whatever Haslam and, I mean, I love Haslam, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, whatever these other guys were doing, Mackinac, straight up, dude, Globe was like, don't ride for drink companies. Don't ride for Oakley. Don't do Tour.
Wow.
Like a year later, he's cut off the team. Like, and I was like, nope, I'm sticking to riding for these brands. They're paying my bills. I worked with Angel over at Crew, and I was gonna sign with Crew because I love Crew. I love everything they were doing at the time. Angel's like, dude, we can't sign you unless you quit the Monster deal, right? He's like, we'll give you. Check it out. We'll give you.
Psycho shit.
We'll give you. No, but it's true.
I'm saying like that,
because if you're looking at
brand
it,
would tell you to quit another brand.
It's happened before. When I was on Globe, check it out. When I was on Globe,
why are you trying to fuck with my money?
Check it out. When I was on Globe and like Appleyard came in and Ian Deacon and all those dudes are like, dude, you need to quit. There were certain brands I did quit. I quit Bones, and I like Bones, but I ended up signing with Rick Dead Mob. They're like, all right, but I was like, I ain't quitting Monster. I ain't quitting Oakley. I'm not quitting
Bones
Toyota.
Is like a $200
paycheck. But it wasn't even about the money. Yeah. It was just like, you know. And then a year later, what happened? Field the Feast tour comes out. It's powered by Monster Energy Drink. I was like, these guys wanted me to quit, and then they're working with Monster, and I love those dudes. So like Ian and Jeremy Fox, I'm not talking any shit, but I'm just saying that's how gangster it is, like in the industry, where it's like, look at nowadays, like Jamie Foy, all these dudes, like if you don't have an energy drink deal on your head, are you a pro skateboarder?
Yeah. Well,
Zion.
It's where a lot of the money comes from. Right?
Yes,
but there's no shoes are few and far.
Yeah,
between.
but what I'm trying to say is back then this shit was whack, and you get hated on for riding for some stuff like this. Now it's like whatever. 10 years later, now it's cool to ride for this.
I don't know if it. Yeah, yes and no. Right? There's still some stigma attached to it, but I mean, the fact that you were the first, not the first, not the last, but you took it and ran with it, and you said, "Fuck, I don't care what anybody says about me because look, check out my bank account."
It was, I mean, to be honest,
you didn't have to even say that.
To be honest,
you know that it's like an unwritten rule.
But to be honest, I just want to be honest. Like, it wasn't really about the money. It was more like the opportunity, and I knew I didn't graduate high school, so I was like, man, if they're going to give me opportunity, I might as well take it, and I could work with some of these brands and make it cool. So me and Sheckler, not to lie, we did have some kind of crazy ads. We're up on the rooftop with these crazy glasses on, but a year later, the Frog Skins came out. The Frog Skins are cool. Then, you know, we came out the Oakley Our Life video. So like we worked, you know, like even Monster, I did 6 years there, and then I left because one of my good friends, Steve Mateas, runs Rockstar. I did 12 years in the energy drink business, and I helped build like that team. Got Manny on the team, Bastian Salavanzi on the team, Alec Majerus, went on trips with those guys. So like things just started kind of going in. And going back to the K-Swiss thing, dude, like honest story, I got a phone call one day, and I remember because I was hanging out with Tal Cooperman and Benji Madden, Joel Madden, right? Remember I said that earlier? They did a collab with DCMA with K-Swiss, right? With the Nichols family, David Nichols, right? And that was right when Nike was doing their thing. And at that same time, Globe calls me. It didn't matter the contract. And skateboarding, what's a contract really mean? They don't give a shit, dude. Like they'll cut you if they want to cut you.
Yeah, true.
And they said, tomorrow, we're taking your pay and we're cutting it in half. I think I was making like $8,500 or $8,000 a month. We're cutting down to $4,000.
Did you have a shoe out already with them?
I think my shoe did come out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, what are you going to do?
Were you working with a manager at this point or no?
Yeah, Todd.
Okay.
Yeah, but Todd, like at that time I was with Globe for so long, dude.
Yeah.
And so it was just me and Globe. Like I didn't bring
He's
Todd
just bringing
into
new
it.
deals to the table.
Todd just bringing new deals. He's just doing his thing, bringing in Toyotas and like, all these other deals, right?
Ain't nobody really bringing those deals to the
God
table.
bless Todd. Where's Todd? Okay. We'll have a conversation with them.
Todd's retired.
Fair enough.
Which is a good spot then. Yeah,
Todd's
we're
retired.
You got a shoe out on Globe. They cut your pay in half.
Correct.
You said it $8,000 a month. That's pretty good.
I think it was
for
like at
that.
the time, it was like 8,000. I guess when you get a pro shoe, there's a minimum that they give you, or whatever, guarantee.
I mean, just
and then
just
once you oversell your guarantee, you get royalties.
Sure. But just in skate brands alone back then, you were making over 10 G's a month. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean,
just from skate stuff, from skate shit.
Yeah, and I was young. I was probably 18, 19. I mean, that's how I bought my first condo.
Sure.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So this is before I like signed with any brands outside of like the core market of skateboarding.
Oh, this is before.
Because you got Volcom, you got Globe.
Yeah, in the beginning it was like Volcom Globe, almost Bones Wheels,
Almost. You're getting 3 probably, right?
through Dieguito. I mean, and they back then they paid for my health insurance, which that was a big.
wow.
Really?
Yeah,
That's pretty
They did.
interesting.
Dieguito paid for everyone's health insurance back in those days. For me, I know they did.
That's never happened.
But we did. I did. I remember getting an email or whatever, a letter in the mail before email is like a thing. But that was like your health insurance. Like, yeah, it's gonna be done. So yeah. And then their pay got cut. And then eventually, like because I was on Almost for so long, and then I went to Dark Star. And I remember the pay kind of going down, and then eventually it was like board royalties.
Well, let's be honest though. I mean, if you're making $10,000 plus a month, you can afford health insurance yourself.
I think they just offered it back then.
No, that's fine though. But if it's up, that's cool because you can afford that, right? The problem is nowadays is like the skaters can't afford.
That's true.
I almost went through my whole career without having health insurance.
And that's scary because if you get hurt, you are in a bad situation. Yeah,
and that's because
you break your leg. Yeah,
bro. If I'm making $1,500 a month, what do you think I could spend $600 of that on health insurance and pay for a place to live and food?
And it's so messed up. I mean, I pay my own health care now, but it's messed up, and
it's dumb expensive.
It is, and then you're not even really covered until you hit your what's it called?
Your deductible.
Your deductible.
Yeah.
Like that is
it depends on what insurance you get, but that shit is super fucking.
It is.
So they cut your pay. Let's talk about this K-Swiss deal.
Correct.
Because for outside looking in, we hear Greg Lutzka got this K-Swiss deal. It's $1 million deal, man. He's killing it over there like he's $1 million.
It was like bigger than $1 million.
That's what we heard.
It was a couple million.
We heard it was $1 million. So it's a couple million.
Yeah.
We weren't even.
It was gonna be. Like. How do I go into this? Okay, so like,
well, let's start with how you.
do you want me to tell the real story?
Yeah.
No, tell us a fake story.
I'm gonna break it off for you. All right, I was working with Todd Hahn, and
that's your manager guy.
That's who was kind of managing my stuff at the time.
Okay.
I put together the deal with K-Swiss, right?
You were already on Globe still, or you were off Globe?
Okay, I was hanging out with Tall Cooperman, Benji Madden, Joel Madden. They did a collab called DCMA with K-Swiss. So I met David Nichols and the guys from K-Swiss. At the same time, Globe was like, all right, like we're going to cut your pay. Because I think just the industry and just like, things were changing. They had dropped Macknell. Fernandez, I think, got dropped too. There's a lot of guys that got dropped from Globe straight up, like gone, like nothing. So like for me, it was like you're getting half your pay cut, but at least I was still there.
Maybe the writing was on the wall, like, this might not be.
But at least I was still there because
sure.
I seen Galil get booted. I seen Macknell, Chad Fernandez, Mike Hayes, like the list was going on.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So they kept me, but they wanted to cut my pay. So I was like, that's kind of weird. Whatever, we got a contract. But who cares about a contract in skateboarding? Because that's just kind of like, it doesn't even matter. But anyway, so at this time, Todd had went back to Gary Valentine over at Globe and was like, hey, if we got another deal for him, would you let him out his agreement? They said, yeah, we'll let him out. At that time, they were probably thinking like, he doesn't have another deal. At the time, I was like,
where would you have gone?
Yeah, exactly. But
they were thinking that way. Like, where's he going to go?
Yeah, where's he going to go back then?
But yeah, that's how they were thinking.
Sure.
And me too a little bit, but me and David from K-Swiss really had a good conversation about, they're like, we really want to get into skating, right? And the Maloof Money Cup was just kind of hitting there. The Dew Tour was coming out at that time. Nike was definitely in the like the mix of everything.
Right.
I think Puma and some of the other brands that they look as their competitors, right? Like K-Swiss is in the mainstream big box stores next to Nike, Puma, Adidas, these other brands.
They're on the wall.
Yeah, they're on the wall. So they're like, man, let's get into skateboarding. I was like, oh, perfect time. I can get locked out of my contract. I look at Todd, I go, what do we do? Because I put this deal together to make it happen, but I wasn't going to negotiate it. And I was like, I'll just let you kind of run with it. He's like, I'm going to go in and 50X your last deal. I go, what? He goes, yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, 8,000?
Yeah, I go,
my calculator.
I go, well, we don't have another backup plan, so don't mess this up, Todd. He's like, no, they got the money. They pay, you know, at the time it was, they had some huge tennis players. What's his name? He's
Sampras, maybe Pete Sampras.
But no, the guy from the movies too. He was like a spokesperson for Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers. They were Anakova was making like seriously like 1.5, probably more than that, like $3 million a year.
Okay.
So he's like, dude, you're gonna get a 5 year. You're gonna get a 5-year deal with a 5-year extension, and we're gonna go in hot. And I was like,
that's what he was gonna go in and ask for.
Well, we wanted to make sure because we were like, well, we can't just do a 2-year deal with this brand. Like, number one, K-Swiss wasn't established in skateboarding yet.
No.
So like. My plan was like, all right, let's get in there and then let's build a team. And we're gonna bring in Alfonso Rawls, by the way. He was one that was gonna start designing the shoes for us.
Oh wow!
So like yeah, and then we were gonna bring in Chaz Ortiz. We had a big plan to bring in a lot of different skateboards, and there were skateboards coming out the woodwork hitting me up to ride for K-Swiss.
I'm sure they were.
After I heard that $1 million deal, I would have called you too, man.
Here's the shoe.
So this is the shoe that never came out.
That never came out, right?
So wait, you went in there with a plan. You told them, hey, this is our plan.
Well, I just wanted
to get K-Swiss on the map.
Well, I wanted to make it cool, right? Because K-Swiss wasn't that cool back then, right?
It wasn't cool in skating.
It wasn't cool in skateboarding. Oh, no, K-Swiss is a cool brand, but not in skating.
Right.
So then we kind of rebranded. We did this like KS, if you guys can see it. It's like a KS with a shield.
I see that.
So, but it's KS, not K-Swiss. But
so they wanted to rebrand it for the skate.
Just like a division. Kind of like
SB.
Like SB, there you go. Yeah. So at the time, we were building the shoe. I brought in the old Globe designer that designed my Globe shoe, right? To design this shoe, and that's why it looks like a skate shoe, and it's a really good shoe, to be honest.
I mean, it looks like
I skated in it, like I won the Maloof Money Cup in it. Like it's a great shoe.
So when you're designing this, so you're already on.
It's a great shoe.
You said you signed a $2 million 5-year contract?
It was more than $2 million. I said a couple of million. It was
a couple means two.
Oh, more than that.
Few million.
A few million. There you go. But anyway, so it was
over 5 years.
We had a minimum, you know, like I talked about minimum, $8,000 a month minimum. Okay. So we had a minimum, and there was a 5-year deal with a 5-year extension, meaning if guaranteed 5 years.
Okay.
If the program is doing good, we automatically 5-year.
Yep.
So I was looking long term, building a program. Bringing in a good shoe designer, bringing a good team, actually building like a legit program, kind of like what SB did, right?
I mean, it's not a bad shoe, man. It looks like a good shoe.
So wait, they gave you the reins to do so. They gave you like the...
Yeah. I mean, they wanted to get in skating. At the time, I'm like, you know, coming out with all these video parts, winning the Dew Tours, Maloof, X Games, all this stuff. I got along with David really well, went up to the headquarters and just like, let's do it, man. Like at the time I was kind of burnt on Globe anyways, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like... I had already filmed my video part with them, and they wanted to cut my pay right after. And here's
this is your welcome. You joined K-Swiss video.
That was like the day that my first time actually going to the office. We filmed that.
Oh wow,
it's kind of cool. Look at there's the necklace too.
You got the necklace.
But that's before I had the
diamonds.
The diamonds, the rubies. Yeah.
Okay, so. That must have been the craziest feeling ever because here you are, a skateboarder. You were just on Globe, 8,000 months, which is nothing to laugh at, right? But here you are, man, with this, few $1 million deal.
Yeah.
Were you tripping? Were you like, whoa, this is crazy, bro?
Yeah.
I'm about to.
I want to
dive
be honest.
in.
I want to be honest. Like,
go ahead.
I don't really spend much money. I really don't. Like, I mean, I buy real estate and like I own a lot of property, right? 20 properties, and then I invest in a lot of different things, right? But I don't spend money.
Okay.
So for me, like even like when I was making $10,000 a month, it wasn't like a huge deal because I only spend like I don't really spend that.
You're saving it.
Yeah.
You got your car, you got your house.
Well, eventually, like I had a lot of money in the bank account, and then Chet's like, dude, you got to open an S corp. And I learned more about business.
Bro, I'm telling you, but for to get a multi-million-dollar deal,
yeah, dude, I was hyped. I was like, well, we'll probably be set up for
life.
Probably,
I mean, bro, if you play your cards right, which
we did.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as I'm just looking at this video. Yeah, I mean, we're going through all these designs and stuff. It could have been a very successful program. The thing is, David's dad was getting older, Stephen Nichols, right? And they were looking at selling the company. So 3.5, right as this shoe got designed, it was about to come out, and we were about to sign some other top skaters, right? Was like, yep, we're selling the company. So the new owners came in, and they weren't like, well, what's up with this deal we have with Lutzka? And then, they didn't have the same vision of going down skateboarding, which is so weird because that same company that came in to buy out K-Swiss ended up buying like Angel's company, which is Super and Crew. The same plate. You know what I mean? Right. So it's
like
kind of
they are getting into skateboarding because they're buying these companies.
I know, but now you don't see Crew and Super anywhere, which is kind of weird. It's almost like they shelved it or whatever. But
you never know what happens.
Sometimes they do these
I saw today on Antoine Dixon's Instagram post, he tagged Crew official on it.
Did he?
Really?
So I was like, maybe there's a
resurgence.
Yeah.
I wonder if Dennis Martin's still working. I know he was working on another shoe thing with Ellington, or
he has it in his profile.
Brian,
he has it in his profile.
So they sell. So they sell the company, and now you're in limbo.
No, I got a buyout. Because I'm like 3.5 years in, so like they had to buy me out of my
plus
agreement.
the 5-year extension. The
the 5-year extension was only if the thing was gonna, you know what I mean.
So you got if it was on a crack, and then they get that.
So you got paid your full amount, which was the contract. That was a few plus $1 million.
It was great, yeah. I mean, yeah, but at that point, the same time, I think it was like 27, 28. My Rockstar deal was coming up. So I did, like I said, did 6 years at Monster Energy Drink, left Monster to work with Rockstar because Rockstar, my good friend Steve Mateas was there. That used to be the team manager over at Vestel Watches. And me and Steve has always been really good friends. And he's like, dude, we're going to work together one day. So I worked with them for 3 years and I had a 3-year extension. So we were coming on like that extension. He's like, dude, like, we need to bring in some younger talent, right? I was like 28. So I was like, all right. He's like, you can either take a big pay cut or like, we're going to take some of your pay and, obviously divide it through other skateboarders. Right. And I was like, all right, cool. So he gave me a good heads up of almost a year before it was happening. And then, I think at that time, like I was drinking a lot of water, which I love aqua hydrate water.
Good, yeah.
And I did notice that like being sponsored by a company was always going to end at one point. So that this company, instead of negotiating, pay or sponsorship, I got ownership in, which is really nice. Dude. So yeah, so
That's
Aqua Hydrates, no, it's a big company.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg,
P Diddy.
There's a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
So and this was like I've been with them over 6 years now. They're a sponsor of the new TV show I created with Fuel, and they've definitely built an amazing brand. But like I signed with them years ago, and like to me, like I love water. I drink water. The energy drinks, I think it's just you get older. Like I just don't.
Wait, real quick. Does Aqua Hydrate, do they sponsor podcasts?
Yeah, I know. We could get I don't know. They sponsor my TV show. We could get them on the podcast.
We need a lot of. We talk a lot.
Yeah,
man. We need to keep our.
Speaking of Aqua Hydrate, I need some water.
Yeah. Take a sip. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. You have we spoke on this before. You're outside the box when it comes to sponsorships and stuff like that. When when K-Swiss came in, that was a multi-million-dollar deal. You said that you did get a lot of shit from people.
For sure.
How does it come back to you? You know what I mean? Like when you do a K-Swiss deal and then everybody's like talking through the grapevine and all this stuff. Do your homies come in and be like, dude, I heard.
I think nowadays people look at me and like, whoa, looking back, he might have made some really smart moves. But at that time, I think people were like, oh, that's whack. He sold out. I remember even going back to my hometown, like some of my best friends were like, dude, really? You're on Monster? You freaking sold out, dude. I'm like, well, I didn't sell out. I left the hometown and I lived on a freaking, on the floor with 3 other dudes. and
I made it.
And I had to pull my mattress into another room when the girl came over.
And on some real shit, like, I got opportunity from some brands that maybe are outside of the core market of skateboarding. And like Chet kind of told me later in life, he's like, core's kind of poor, but you know, it is kind of a fine line. Like you want to, I always say, keep your roots tight. Like keep your board company tight, keep your truck company tight, keep your even shoe company, you know, tight, you know, and then you can go out and you can have your leaves or your branches to do a drink deal or a headphone deal or a car deal or a motorcycle deal or any of these other deals, like kind of outside the box, right? CBD deal, whatever you want to do. But I think you do definitely need to keep your board company is number one, like tight, and ride with your friends, ride with the companies that, like I left almost to ride for Darkstar because I skated with Ryan Desenzo a lot. You know, Adam died a lot. We were traveling a lot.
Made sense.
You know what I mean? It just made sense.
A lot of people leave companies and join other companies just because
simple fact for sure.
Yeah, and Chet called my phone. He's like, well, obviously, like Almost and Darkstar were under the same distribution. You know, so contractors come over. He's like, who do you hang out with? I'm like, Desenzo. Who else? Diet. Who else is at your house? Appleyard. Who else? I'm like, who else had the contest with you? I don't know. PLG. You know what I mean? He's like, why don't you come to Darkstar? It just makes like a better fit. That time Scheckler had left and went to Plan B. Tori, like I'm always like me and Tori are always really tight, but like he wasn't like the OG kind of Almost state. Like he kind of came in a little bit after the film, but me and Tori are like really tight. So I'd kick it with him too, but he was in the Valley, you know, and I'm in Orange County or whatever. So like we didn't kick it that much. And then Haslam and Cooper like pretty close, but Haslam always kind of did his thing, and then Rodney and Day One always kind of just did their own thing. Like I've been on a bunch of trips with Day One. Not that many as much with Rodney, you know.
Right.
But
so when
we're all 10 years apart. So like I'm 38, Day One's 48.
Yeah.
And Rodney's 58.
Something
so when
like
I
that,
signed with Almost, I was 19. Day One, I was 29.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
So when that happens, I imagine that Chet talks with Rodney.
Oh,
Like
I'm sure.
it's in the same building, but you're taking away from this company.
Here's the thing, too.
Go ahead.
I think Almost like a lot of the riders were very not riding for those like energy drink companies.
Okay.
Where Desenzo had a Red Bull deal, right? PLG rode for Monster. You know, Diet rode for Rockstar. I rode for Rockstar at the time. So, and we were doing like a, you know what I mean? So it was just
They're
kind of
aligning
like,
all the sports drinks guys.
So-
like
I just think, and I look at it now that way, but to be honest, like, it wasn't because of that, because legitimately we were all like really close friends. Like, dude, this is who I hung out with all the time. It just happened to be we rode for drinks. We went to probably that's why I became friends with her, because we were at the contest together. Like, oh yeah, like Money Maloof Cup. Like I went head to head with Desenzo to get to that final round to go skate against Dennis Buznitz. You know, like and dude, wow. I looked at Ryan before I dropped in. We just like, whatever happens, dog. Like, shit, dude. And he's a good skateboarder, man. I'm like,
especially in the contest atmosphere.
And he was crazy too, because he would bring like, I never brought like backup setups. So like, if I broke my board, I was done. But Darkstar Dwindle ended up making boards that had carbon fiber in it later on. So the Money Maloof Cup, like they weren't breaking. But I do remember riding some whatever dew tours where I snapped my board, and then it's like jumping on someone else's board. It just doesn't work. Right. For me, it doesn't work. No, some people can do it. Yeah. But Desenzo will come back up. So I'm like, dude, if I snap this forward, like he's in. And either way, whether he won or I won, it didn't really matter. One of us was going to go against Buznitz, and Buznitz is completely insane skateboarder and one of my favorite skateboarders all time. It was just all love. Like, you know, and when I did win, that's another thing. When I won these events, I never picked up my check. Never would go. All these people just running it'd be like a line to get checks. I was like, I ain't got time to sit in this freaking line. Like, we're going to the hotel. We're gonna get some drinks. We're going out. They'll mail this shit.
They're gonna get it to me.
Yeah, they're gonna get it to me. Everyone's waiting for their money. I'm like, dude, I don't even care. Like, whatever. And then Chet's like, hey, or 10% rule, 20% rule. We went out. We had a good time that night.
This is all around the time also when you went to Darkstar, when the K-Swiss deal came in. This is all around the time that you won Tampa Pro also. 2009-ish.
Yeah, it's all kind of like a blur to me, to be honest. Like, there was a lot of events that I skated
in. But 2009, 2010 was kind of like the...
Yeah, 2009 was probably when I won Tampa Pro. Never went there to want to. I mean, I would love to win the contest.
But you're a contest guy, though. What do you mean you never went there to win?
That's what people think. I honestly, like, I would never skate parks, and when I moved to California, and then when I would go skate and I pretty much skated like those contests or those courses in between. Like, there was nothing I skated, like, there was nowhere I trained. Like, you know how like Sheckler had a training facility, Paul had a training facility, I guess Nigel has a training facility. Actually, I've been to his, but it's like I don't know. I just never.
Probably just bringing back those old vibes of you skating the skate park
Four
back
Seasons.
in the day.
Yeah. So I just kind of did.
You did a run.
This is
it. 2000?
Yeah, but I think I just kind of put down the tricks that I knew I could do that I did either in the streets or at the Four Seasons skate park. You know what I mean? Oh, there's Joey. Wow. Joey's awesome. Yeah. So like I never really went there to win, and maybe that's why I did well, because I didn't like overthink it. You know what I mean?
It's so interesting because
now
even you said that you had that contest skater stigma attached to you a little bit.
Yeah, because people judge me because I won a bunch of contests.
Yeah.
But then if you're looking at video parts, like, well, you got 4-1 digital, Globe, almost Oakley. You know what I mean? Like I filmed a lot of video parts too, but I think because I skated so many contests, people like didn't even think about the video parts at one point, that's how I think.
I'm pretty sure that definitely was the case.
Yeah.
And you used to do the 270 nose blunt a lot. Like that was a contest run, like that was in your run.
I think I did it for the first time, probably in a contest. I had to have.
The first time?
Oakley video.
Was it? Oh no, but I did it before that on like a bump to bar.
Oh, you did?
I did do it in Oakley video down the Wilshire rail.
Yeah.
But where I learned
a flat bar,
like a bump, like a bump to bump to flat bar, like a detour or whatever. Yeah. Probably one of the or Tampa. I might have done it at Tampa.
What about
might have been Tampa
frontside 270 flip nose blunt?
That was at the Maloof. I think I just was 270 nose blunt, and then I just like frontside flip, and I remember like kind of catching it, and I did the front. Whatever you want to call it, front three kickflip. Yeah. So I knew I had both those tricks, but it was just a perfect kind of A-frame rail that it just kind of like launched you, and I just like flung it up, and then like I tapped it in. I was like, I don't know. I think I could probably do this.
So you just developed that trick at that contest.
Yeah, at that contest.
Was insane. I've never seen that one done ever since.
Yeah, at that contest. Yeah, it wasn't like planned. And actually, there's another trick I did there. Now I think the front side 270 flip lip down the rail. There's like a little H-stair rail, and then I end up doing it again at the old barracks, the original barracks.
Down the little rail.
Down the little rail, yeah. And then I tried it like on so many street spots. Me and Hoops would go there, and I forget all the different rails we went to get that trick, but we never ended up getting it in the streets. I don't know why.
What's a fucked up trick?
I have no idea. But it's it's a perfect 8-stair rail. Like I don't know. It just never worked out for me.
Yeah, but you did the 270. Nose blunt down the Wilshire rail, right? Is that what you said on the
270 nose blunt, and then I started doing like 270 nose blunt, 270 out, like I don't know, just kind of messing with those kind of like, I guess, low combos. Yeah. To me, to be honest, 270 nose blunt's super easy. Like
it looks like you have it easy.
Yeah, what makes it easy for you?
It's just easy. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like spinning and aiming
so easy.
I feel like spinning and aiming is
okay.
Like
if you think about it, like 270 lip is more sketchy because you're like in the middle of the board. Where 270 nose blunt, if you really look into it, you do the 270 nose blunt, but if you miss, you just tap your foot on the rail and you're just out. Like
it's all about your confidence in that frontside 360.
Yes,
you have a really good frontside 360. Right. So
and if you look
confidence on like fleek going down something like that, you're like I'm confident that I'm going to get it in here.
And you're saying the bail factor is easy.
Super easy, dude. I mean, look at who else does the trick?
Deshaun.
Yeah, and me and him talked about it, and I remember when he was like starting to learn it. I was like, dude, it's so easy, bro. And I remember.
I mean, easy for you to say because you're good at it.
Well, he's got a good front three, and I'm like, dude, you do the front.
Podcasting's easy, man.
I was like, dude, you have that, and now he does it like in contests, no problem. Like, dude, once you do it once, it's like routine. It's easy.
So you just tried it, and you're like, this is easy.
It's easy to bail because you're like 270 over, and then you just kind of grab your one foot, you jumped on the stairs, like
right.
It's simple.
Yeah, if you're doing lip side, you're fully on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Commitment issue, you have full commitment.
Yeah, if you're doing a lip side, you're full commitment. If you're doing the blunt, you're kind of over it, and plus you can kind of like fling in, just kind of.
You can't second guess yourself on that though. You got to be full committed.
But also the front three, I do those. Yeah, that's quite a bit. So that does help. And Chris Cole does like the back three. Knows I suck at back threes. And to be honest, I swear every skateboarder either is really good front side or backside. Like Bastion was always really good backside. And it's weird. I cannot back three for the life of me, but I can do switch back three down like a double set because I know at first I thought about, but it's the same movement as a normal front three because you're like moving this way and then now you're going switch. You're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So switch back three.
Yeah. Your shoulders are turning.
Your shoulders are going the same way. So switch back three works really good for me. Back three is like, dude, it's terrible. I'm like, I just can't.
What about switch front three?
I can't do it.
No,
I've never done switch front. Well, that's the same thing as doing a back three.
Yeah.
My shoulders don't work that way. And when I snowboard, like, it's so weird because a lot of people are like, dude, you could probably like front three so good on a snowboard. I actually do. I don't know why. Just the way I carve, I do back three and snowboard. So it's like opposite. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but yeah.
Interesting.
So if we, we're talking about we just got done talking about the K-Swiss stuff and all these deals and everything, and then you said eventually you started doing all these deals yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What made you so confident? Because it's not easy working with these big companies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back and forth. I'm sure there's a lot of legalities. There's a lot of. What made you so confident that you can go in there and do what these guys did just by yourself?
Well, like Todd would just kind of sit down with these companies and I would say almost pitch me, but he had relationships with some of these companies. Like Toyota, he had a relationship with. Oakley, he knew Dylan Radloff, had a relationship with, had a relationship with Steve Mateus at Rockstar. So it was just easy for him because he's like, oh, this is Lutzka. Yeah, he's winning do tours or he's doing this. Yeah, just meet him. And then I was just a cool kid that just wanted to skate and just, dude, I'm down to ride. Like, you know what I mean? So it was just, I was always easy to work with.
Okay.
But then, I would see him in meetings and like he'd put together like little pitch decks and kind of like just like stats or whatever, like super basic. Like, oh, this is what he's doing, blah, blah, And then I learned that. And I think me and Todd just got to a point where he's like, dude, I got no more deals for you, bro. Like, seriously, we did like Jose Cuervo's and Visa deals and freaking all these crazy deals.
No, you reached the threshold.
Like, and he's just like, I got nothing more for you. And I was just like, well, that's cool. I mean, whatever. He's like, I think you're great at what you do. I think you just do it yourself.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then I just like went on the, you know what? There was one point where I started losing some sponsors and then I would just write down categories. Like, oh, I want to, this category, these are the top brands I want to ride for or work with,
How would you get a hold of them?
At that time, like social media was just kind of coming out. So I'd write them on social media or social media a lot of times. I would write them and just say, hey, what's up? And some of these brands are like kind of outside of skating, right? Yeah. Hey, my name's Greg Lutzka. I'm a 2x X Games gold medalist. I love your product. And I would love to get in tune with someone that's in the marketing department.
Amazing.
And then I would jump on like, this is kind of before Zoom meetings. I do a lot of Zoom meetings, and then I have a pitch deck that's just like, all right, cool. Like,
Did you build your own pitch deck?
Yeah.
You built your own pitch deck?
Of course. Yeah.
Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign?
No, I do it on Keynote.
Okay.
So I just kind of like build out, like, I don't know. I just kind of, and you know what?
It's very helpful.
Yeah. And I have a vision for like I won't just ride for anyone. That's for sure. Like I have a vision of who I want to work with, categories that I want to be in. You know what I mean?
What wouldn't you ride for? As an example.
If you make a list, you're not worrying about who you're not going to ride for. You're worried about who you're going to ride for.
Yeah. Like the weed market, because I don't really smoke. I'm born on 420 when I grew up smoking weed. I am. I'm born on 420. Like I grew up smoking weed from 16 to freaking.
I thought you were literally born on April 20th.
I am.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I'm born on 420. But I'm just saying, like nowadays, like I quit smoking weed. Like, dude, I don't care.
That doesn't make sense for you.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying you got to kind of.
You don't want to fake the funk.
Yeah, you got to ride for. I'm just true to who I want to work with.
Have you ever?
Is there a lot of?
I feel the same way.
Is there a lot of money in that market?
Yeah.
Absolutely, there is.
Have you ever rode for a company that you kind of faked the funk?
I'm trying to think.
Or is it?
Let's go back to this is kind of a funny story, and I lost my Toyota deal because of this. So I was on Toyota. Yeah. They gave me a Matrix, and not the coolest looking car, but I was making money in skating.
They gave it to you, or as a loaner?
I was a loaner.
Okay.
Sorry. But they you're right. It was a lease loan with a paycheck, with a nice paycheck.
Okay.
So it was Jamie Beswick, myself. Bob Burnquist did the Prius. I was kind of behind the Matrix.
Jamie Beswick's a
biker. Yep. And then Louis Vito and Elena Height, which 4 of those 5 deals Todd did, right? So he had a really good in with Toyota. I had bought a Bentley GT. They didn't like that when they found that out. I don't know how they found that out because social media wasn't around back then as much, but they found that out. They didn't like that idea. So that kind of that didn't do good. So
that sucks because that's your personal
personal
purchase.
car. Yeah,
like what are we talking about? It's supposed to be Toyota dedicated.
He's supposed to drive the Matrix, man.
But he's also using that money they're paying him to go buy another car.
Well, not just them. I mean, I was making money for them, but yeah, I bought that house, right? And then I bought I had my Bentley for like 5-6 years. And then I would drive the Matrix too. Don't get me wrong. Like we'd take it on a trip, or skating. But Hoops' car blew up. Right, his Honda Civic. He forgot to put oil in there or something. It blew up. I said, just take the Matrix, bro. You're good. Well, the Matrix became kind of Hoops' everyday driver, and then he went to Riverside and went on the toll road 241, and the tags are under. My name's under the car, and I'm insured with the car.
Are we talking about a toll
Hoops,
road?
Yep. Okay. Hoops is driving on the toll road. They shoot the photo. The photos get sent to Toyota because it's a lease loan car.
Like, who is this dude driving?
Who's this dude? And seriously, dude, like that messed my deal up.
No way.
They said we don't like you. You
can't. Well, this is the thing.
You got the Bentley. Somebody else is driving your car.
Well, the Bentley was
investigating.
I think the Bentley was not a good look.
Okay.
For it's like Toyota Bentley. It's like.
I mean, too.
Yeah.
So there's a photo of Hoops driving your car.
Yeah, like he basically ran a bunch of tolls, and all the tickets get sent to Toyota.
I think it would have been worse if you had a Honda because that's more of a competitor.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think that the Bentley was the biggest deal. I think it was letting Hoops drive the car, and he wasn't insured under the car. So if something would have happened, he's not insured.
But if
Toyota's liable.
If it was just that one time, can't you just be like, I had an emergency. He had to drive my car somewhere.
We tried. Faking the funk. Well, he asked the story while faking the funk. So
that's not really faking the funk. I feel like, but maybe a little bit.
It wasn't
but you still used it.
Yeah.
We
used it all the time. But for the most part, all the brands I rode for,
you backed them.
Always did. Yeah. There was never like a deal.
I like that. Though.
But I've also had opportunity to work with some brands that I didn't feel like would work, and I passed on it.
Okay. Because I feel like when we talked to Andy Mack, and he was the first Sobe guy, like
I remember Sobe,
and everybody was kind of giving him shit for him, but he's like, I drink Sobe.
Yeah,
it's like I like Sobe. He's like, if I would have done like an alcohol brand, I don't drink, so that would have totally been fake.
Yeah,
he's like, I use all the stuff that I'm.
And thinking about talking about Sobe, Scheckler rode for Sobe before Red Bull. Because I remember going to Ryan's house in San Clemente, he'd have all the Sobe, and Sobe is a good drink.
Sure,
great drink.
Sure.
If I could have had the opportunity to ride for Snapple, I would have rode for Snapple.
Right.
I love Snapple.
Yeah.
I
don't know about it anymore.
I know. I was going to say, what happened to Snapple?
I don't know what happened.
You don't really see Snapple, but I used to love Snapple.
I mean, I'm sure
they got shelved.
A little. They might have got
shelved. So now, so you do all of your own deals now. That's what
I've been doing my own deals for the last. I want to say 8, but probably 10 years. Since 28. I'm 39 now.
That's crazy.
Amazing,
yes, I did my own Harley Davidson deals. Everything I do. Everything. Pretty much.
What does a Harley Davidson deal look like first and foremost?
Well, I love riding motorcycles, right? And I'm from Milwaukee, where Harley's founded from. Harley did a collab with Rockstar Energy, where they gave away a free Harley Davidson Rockstar branded bike, and it's kind of a cool deal because like chicks and energy drinks and Harleys, it just kind of like fit, And then I met Jeff Wick that worked at Corporate Harley. He wanted to get into like sponsoring X Games, which they ended up doing, and sponsoring some skateboarders. And I was the dude that's like, oh, he's from Milwaukee. And I grew up like my dad rides Harleys, and basically like I grew up riding dirt bikes, moved to California. I didn't really ride as much. So, but I always loved riding bikes, Right. And then we ended up doing a deal together. They gave me a free Dyna motor, like the Dyna models, right?
Okay.
And dude, I fell in love with it. I ride all the freaking time. I ended up creating my own exhaust with Bassani exhaust, which was pretty cool. And it became one of the top selling exhausts. We sell to Drag Specialties, which is like in skateboard world, it's like Eastern Skate Supply sells to all the skate shops. They sell to all the motorcycle shops. And then
it's a special accessory that
it's a special exhaust, like aftermarket exhaust. It's like, we built an awesome exhaust where, it just brings the loudness of the bike, but also the performance of the bike a lot more up, right?
Amazing.
And then from there, like I started designing seats. I got my own custom seat, and then the bar bags, and like really got into the motorcycle business. pretty heavy. You know what I mean? And I have my own online shop called Lutzka's Garage, where we sell, over 40,000 motorcycle parts, and we do drops. Yeah, that was just crazy.
New and used parts?
All new. All new.
Okay,
We don't sell any used parts. And that's kind of like more drop ship business. So it's we have a distributor.
Are you like partnered with something to do that?
Wait, this is
all you.
What do you mean?
Now I do have a partner with it, but in the beginning,
but wait, how do you put?
No, it's not. It's not, because we don't carry any inventory.
It's already.
But I do have to process all the orders.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like I started buying real estate when I was young and kept buying more homes, and those ones are kind of like, they're just easy because we got long-term renters in there, and then I got in the Airbnb business. I was like, oh shit, that's a little bit more work.
Sure.
So I did the Airbnb thing for like 2 years as well. So, and then restaurant business, owner in like four different locations of our 6 restaurants that we have, and we're opening another one. Sessions, West Coast Deli.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
I love that,
do they sell these boards in Harley Davidson?
They did.
Yeah,
that was
there was like a display in every Harley Davidson.
Every single Harley Davidson dealership. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
That's
that
incredible,
one,
dude.
that one to me, cool.
Impressive.
You had that connection, right? Oh, I know this guy. Does he want to get into the Harleys? Okay, I remember Wisconsin. Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about Walmart. We're talking about this skateboard. You got into Walmart. How does Greg Lutzka get in touch with Walmart and pitch them this idea? How does this happen?
Well, getting into Walmart's not easy. And
tell us the story behind this back.
Yeah,
Because you're now doing your own boards.
Correct.
For Walmart.
Correct.
These are like $30 in Walmart.
Correct.
What's this? Tell us why. What is the story behind this and how you got in there?
Yeah, I mean, well, we created a really good product at a good price point. It comes with, a free fingerboard, because as a kid, like I always played with like Tech Deck fingerboards, which I'm working with Tech Deck now, and they're a sponsor of the TV show I have and things that we're doing. We created the QR code where you can learn how to skate for kids.
Okay.
We work with a graphic design team that I've been working with for years called Lincoln Design Co. They do a lot of the graphics for Plan B and Tony Hawk's brand, a lot of different things. So I work with Dan over there. And then my vision was to like really create a really good, solid skateboard at an affordable price.
Okay.
Right.
And when I grew up as a kid, dude, it was like Nash. It was like plastic trucks and just, so I guess there was something in me that like I got my first skateboard at Walmart, and I was like, man, if I ever like get to a certain point in my, being a pro skateboarder, maybe I'm gonna turn this around and create a good entry level skateboard. Something better.
And this is after Dark Star.
Yeah, so
you'd already left Dark Star.
Well, Dark Star was selling into Walmart,
Yeah.
right? And they had a partnership with a company called Bravo, right? And Bravo had no interest of putting pro names on the boards, right? They just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, they're not putting my name on it, not DeCenzo's and not Dave Paczynski. Well, what happens is the core branding of Dark Star that we sold to Eastern Skate Supply and all these big, skate retailers didn't want to carry Dark Star as much anymore because it's kind of a Walmart brand,
Okay.
which is kind of understandable.
Yeah,
definitely.
So Chet goes, well, they don't have any, they don't really think they should put your name on the board and we pay your royalty because they don't know if the mass market's going to know who a Dave Paczynski is or a Greg Lutzka or a Ryan DeCenzo. I said, fair enough. If you look at the shelf, it's Tony Hawk, right? And that's true. So fair enough. And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, I go into Target and I look and there's Heart Supply, Jagger. And I shoot a photo to Chet and I go, really? Like other pro names don't sell in big box retail? He's like, yeah, but they're not really going to do it. And I think my agreement was kind of, well, actually, I'd never had agreement with now I look back at it. I don't think I had an agreement for I don't even know. Maybe the first year I signed with them, but I was with them for like 10, 15 years. So like I probably didn't have an agreement with them for, I don't know, 5, 8 years. I don't even know.
Contract with Dark Star.
A contract, yeah.
So, gotcha. Okay.
And I just figured, like if I'm going to ride for a Walmart brand, because the kids and the community is like, oh, Dark Star Walmart, And I looked at their quality of boards that they were doing. I was like, I don't think they're the best quality, no disrespect, but I think we can do something better.
Okay.
There could be some improvement.
So there can be some improvement.
Okay.
And I looked at the price point and like it was not an easy deal to get that going. And now we're expanding now into all the Targets. We're in
But you're doing, how do you get this deal?
285 stores.
Do you have somebody helping? How do you,
I did that deal.
But you just, but do you DM them? Like, hey, I got this idea, man. How does this work?
I don't want to say how I did it because that would spill the beans.
Everyone will start going to Walmart.
But
I'm going to DM them. I'm going to set this up.
That was the opening.
Okay, so you don't want to say how you did it, but
I knew that question would come up. Dude,
well, it's interesting.
It is interesting. It is very interesting.
You can tell us after.
Oh, we could talk about that after camera. But it is a very interesting deal.
Sure.
I can say this: getting into big box retail is very difficult. Number one. Number two, once you're in big box retail, it's very difficult to stay in there because you got to sell through.
That's the main thing.
And if you're looking,
right? And
if you're looking at the shelf space, there's only so many boards on the shelf space. Like there's only it's so small. It's not like a skate shop. You know what I mean? And the buyers at these big box retail stores aren't core skateboard.
They're looking
buyers.
at the margins.
Well, not even that. They're just looking at categories. Oh, we got enough BMX bikes in there. All right, cool. Oh, we got enough helmets there. All right, cool. Oh, there's like 4 rows of skateboards. We're good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They don't even look that like, does it have ABEC 3 bearings, ABEC 5 bearings? Does it have good urethane? Does it have metal trucks, plastic trucks? Does it have like, they just, skateboard category is good. You know what I mean? Where when I went to like the Toyland event in Arkansas, the Walmart headquarters, I met our buyer, Sam, and I said, look, this is the difference between our board and one of the competitors' boards.
So you had already started working on it.
So I really explained to him, like, dude, these are why these boards are really good compared to what else is on the shelf, because he doesn't know anything about skateboarding. Sure. He just knows that those graphics look cool, and yeah, we got 5 different boards in there. We're good. And there's like a street board, there's a long board, and there's a short board. That's true. I mean, to be honest,
for sure.
So I broke down to him like, yo, dude, look, like this board right here, seriously, like comes with a free gift of purchase, which is a fingerboard, which kids love and I love, right? Playing with as a kid, right?
Yep.
And it comes with free trick tips. None of your other products come with that, because as a skateboarder coming up, like I learned how to ollie because of Thrasher on a sequence. You know, Donger.
Yeah.
And I seen his like sequence, and like that's how I learned to ollie. Where here it's like you get 10 or 12 free trick tips. You learn how to ollie, kickflip, you know, with a QR code, because now kids have phones and you know, it's just like a different world. And then and just creating really good bushings and trucks and at affordable price and awesome graphics, and just like, you know, so it was a whole, dude, it's not easy.
You invested money into this because you have to get the sampling made.
I'm not going to go into everything.
Come on,
Greg. How is this?
That's what I'm saying. You have to have like a partnership with somebody to help bring this to life.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not you just said, "Hey, look,
Darkstar wasn't my partner."
Right.
It seems like that.
But yeah, I do work with a manufacturing company that makes. I mean, dude, it's a whole.
Do they make toys, and then you have to kind of?
They don't make toys.
Oh,
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. To make a board that costs $30 retail.
Yeah, you gotta buy that at margin like 11.
It's
it's insane.
Like you said,
by the way, that board is a really. It's a good board, man.
I mean, like I said, when you came in and showed it to us, I said, listen, all the skate YouTubers out there are going to take that board and do like trials with it.
And they can, dude. It's a great board. Now, if you're an 18-year-old kid, entry level,
dude, all day.
Obviously, like this is for the kid that's, you know, getting their first skateboard.
Sure.
You know, whether it's Christmas, birthday, or just wants to get into skating, it's a good board. Spin the wheels on that thing, dude. Those are and look at the
main thing. That's
very
good, dude.
I know.
Yeah, usually they stop right away.
They don't even do that.
Yeah.
They tighten them so tight.
Yeah,
they can't even
they're
do
very good. They're very good boards, and now you get into skateboarding, because here's the thing with skateboarding: if you get a shitty first board, it kind of turns you away from skateboarding.
Yeah,
because you're gonna be like, I don't want to skate. This thing sucks. So like my first board was a Nash board, right? And it didn't turn me away from skateboarding because I knew I always wanted to skate. But it can for some kids. Now kids get this board, they're like, oh yeah, it skates good. They tighten up, like it works. And then next thing you know, they get into skating. They start following the new 4-on-1s, which we don't have 4-on-1 anymore, but
dabbles.
They start watching 9 clubs.
The 9 clubs.
But they're going to go out and buy a chocolate board, a girl board.
Then they'll go build their,
figure it out.
Yeah, they're going to go build their own amazing complete, you know?
You're not thinking about like, oh, how do I keep this customer? It's like, it's their first board.
It's your first board. It's an entry level skateboard.
Right.
You know, it gets you into skating. And it's I mean, I'm not being cocky, but it's the best it's the best on the market.
Yeah.
Go to Walmart, go to Target,
lane, yeah.
go to that lane, dude. That by far smokes everyone on the marketplace.
Have you ever talked to them about making like a core level type skateboard for them?
Let me just say this. You're not working with Walmart to get into Walmart. And these boards aren't just selling at Walmart. They're going into Target. They're going into Big Five. Or not Big Five, I'm sorry. Academy Sports. Mm-hmm. So that just gives out a secret right there. You're not partnered with Walmart. A lot of people think because they sell in Walmart, it's a Walmart board. No, Walmart has nothing to do.
It's a distribution to all these big.
They're just a retailer.
Yeah.
All they are. They're like an active ride shop. I shouldn't say that, but like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. They're just like a headphone company sells to Best Buy, and to Fry's, and to all these places.
They're like, I didn't do any deal with Walmart. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
You did a deal with Walmart.
Well, no, we sell into Walmart.
Yes.
But also now we're going to sell into Target. Okay. Now we're selling to other stores. And I did hit up Eastern Skate Supply because there's in the market space, you don't really see, you do see some completes, right? Like Toy Machine makes them.
Everybody's making them. Everybody's
but $80.
Yeah.
$70, $80. No one's got one for $35. That's actually a good board. So even the Actives and the Zoomies and those kind of places could carry these boards. That's going to be like the kid. Those are mall stores, by the way, like Zoomies. They bring their kid in there. Kids probably never skated. He could buy a Toy Machine one, which is great. Or maybe the mom just like, dude, like he's only 5 years old. Let's get him a $35, $30 complete. That's gonna be almost just as comparable as one of those. It may not, and I don't even know if the Toy Machine ones have like Indy truck. I don't think they do. Indy trucks or Thunders.
No. They're all generic.
They're all generic. There you go. So they don't even have the specs of building your own board anyway. So like there is a market.
Oh, you have a point
for these boards just in an active ride shop or I don't want to say perimeter shop, but you know what I mean, like a core market skate shop as well.
So if this is your pro board, what do you skate? I
That's
skate.
a good question.
Well,
Real shit.
I've always skated Indy trucks, right?
Okay.
And I've always skated. I to this day. I mean, I like bone slide, and then I ride Richtas a lot.
But the boards, what do you do?
The boards.
Riding blanks?
I ride the same graphic, just an upgraded version.
Oh, you ride this? Okay.
Yeah, the same graphic.
Yeah, you're not obligated to ride that.
So
by any means.
I mean,
well, he wants to sell.
He's not an entry level skateboarder.
Yeah, but he wants a graphic. It's the same thing as a pro. Right.
Well, we got a bunch of new graphics coming out that are really, really sick, actually.
So you make your own boards to skate.
That's I have my own boards to skate.
Okay.
Well, they're like that. They're that board, but upgraded version.
Right, but you go to a board manufacturer, say, "Here's my graphic.
Yeah.
Like, let me get 50 of these."
Also, here's the shape I like.
Sure. Yeah.
I've been around the same. Actually, I've been around the same shape for 20 years. I took Artosari's board. Okay. Because one of my favorite skateboards, Arto, right? So like he rode for Flip. I went over to Australia, and when I signed with Almost, I didn't like any of the Dwindle boards because I felt like the tails were like super short. Like my shoe size is 11, you know what I mean? So like I just felt like they're just weird kind of, I don't know. There wasn't like
the timing was off.
I just felt like the boards weren't. I don't know. There was something about it. And Rodney's like, who cares? That's okay. If you don't like the shapes of the boards, it's not the end of the world. You're in Australia. You're at Hardcore. You have all the boards here. You got Girl. You got Chocolate. You got Birdhouse. You got Flip. And I love like growing up as a kid. Like I always was like, I love Flip. Arto, like Tom Penny, like all those dudes were just like Jeff Raleigh. Like so I went right to Flip.
Yeah.
And I just looked at all the boards and the Arto board popped up. It had like a Zippo lighter on it. And I go, man, this board looks good. I step on it, felt like perfect. And I was like, all right, I called him Crampy back then, like Crampy or whatever that ran, like whatever hardcore in Australia.
Crampy's the man.
You know Crampy then. Okay, cool. Because you guys know Crampy. So Crampy, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So Crampy, Adrian. His real name is Adrian. We call him Crampy. Okay, cool. So I was like, let me take 10 of these. And I was on Almost, but I was riding a Flip board. I just cover up with stickers or whatever. Rodney was cool. Rodney's like, dude, as long as you feel comfortable, man, like that's what it's about. Skateboarding's about feeling comfortable on your board. He's like, well, take it if you like it. I was like, I love this board. He's like, we'll mock it.
Yeah.
Like, well, basically,
Rodney's no stranger to
so
board
he
design.
made it exact to Arto's Pro Model board.
Yeah.
And I rode that board. I mean, I still ride that board. So from 19 years old to 39.
If it ain't broke, man, why
38.
fix it?
I'm 38.
Yeah.
That's
If
20
it-
years.
if it ain't broke.
So we did the same thing.
Don't
Take
fix
it.
it.
We take it to the manufacturing company.
It
who
is
makes
so
and we-
funny, bro.
So-
Because here's the thing: most pro skateboarders, when they get to a certain point, we'll start my. You start your own company, you do
Yeah.
some stuff. Like you went down a complete different road. Like you didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to start my own board brand and do this and do that." You said, like, "Oh, I'm going to go over here and do this."
I just felt like, I don't know. I've always, like, I think as a kid too, I've always gone against what everyone else was doing. So I think as a kid, like kids had normal haircuts. I was like blue hair and cut to the side. You know what I mean? Like when I came to California, like I was just like, yeah, the core market is like, oh, ride for blah, blah, core brand. I'm like, I don't know. I got an opportunity to ride for Monster. I'm taking it, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know. I just always kind of went like opposite of what everyone else
You
was
go
doing.
against the challenge. Like, I mean, you did.
So that's why when you
did the challenge against Chet in that sense, he's like, you're not going to be able to do it. You're like, all right.
Yeah. And Chet called my phone. He's like, I'm proud of you, man. Like that's I don't know how you did that, but
Well, that's why I was asking how you did it, because it's
if I said that on the
crazy.
podcast,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anyone would be able to reenact.
right.
Replicate what you did.
It might be
You never
tough.
know, yeah.
It maybe, but even the
You pulled
buyers
it off,
the buyers that are going to be like, well, we already have something like, you know what I mean? It's a tough, and there's a reason why Tony's the only name that's been in there for the last 10, 15 years.
It was Tony Hawk.
sure.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but why is there, like, Jagger got in there? I know why Jagger's put boards
the
got in there.
Olympian.
But yeah, he is an Olympian, but no other pros.
Yeah.
So it's not a-
Schillerith is also like he's a hustler too.
Oh, all
you
day.
know?
Yeah,
All day.
yeah.
Yeah, man. It's so.
But Heart Supply makes good boards too for the entry level kind of market too,
Right.
like for sure.
I would imagine they.
I looked at their
take a little bit
boards
more
are
time.
definitely on the. They're the premier brand in Target.
Well,
for
here's
sure.
the thing. You got to think about this too. Is like I definitely think. It's people may talk shit about it as much as they want,
Yeah.
but it's needed for our
think-
industry. Like we need these entry level skateboards
Yeah.
to get kids into skateboarding, and they
Yeah.
can have a great time
Yeah.
for their first board and want to get another one.
Like-
and also
It's important.
and also be stoked on skateboarding where they ride something that works.
I'd rather.
All of a sudden you get some of those other boards and they're plasticky trucks and it's like the wheels don't spin, your grip tape sucks, the shape sucks. It's like this ain't even fun. Like
Well, it's
not
coming
even
from
fun. Like
skateboarders.
if you look, I
Yeah.
did like a little video or whatever and like took the, I went and bought my first like board when
Yeah.
it came into stores. Like, well, dreams do come true. Holy shit! And like I literally like frontside flipped down it like didn't even really mess with the trucks that much, just like straight out the packaging. Like,
But I'd
frontside flip,
rather
yeah.
have skateboarders, real skateboarders. I'd rather have them like yourself, like in these than some random
company.
company.
Like a
toy
Nash.
company, right?
Trying to,
Oh,
yeah,
like a Nash?
like KB,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what, KB. What is the Mattel?
Oh,
right?
Mattel, yeah,
Oh, we're
yeah,
making
yeah.
Great, good for Mattel.
Yeah.
They're already $1 billion
Yeah,
company.
yeah, yeah.
Like here,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they're coming
I
into our
agree.
shit. Like I'd rather have a skateboarder or
Yeah.
legit skateboard
and doing
company
something cool with it,
Definitely.
And going into it, like, so I created a TV show called Next Gen, right? And it's about bringing up the next generation in skateboarding.
This is Fuel TV.
It's on Fuel TV, right? And I went to Fuel this idea because, dude, I always thought Fuel went through like a lot of ups and downs, right? And they got sold from Fox, and now they're making a huge comeback. They're working with iDabble now too, so they got a lot of cool projects that they're working with. Oh, there's the
Sorry, this
yeah,
came
you
a
can
little
put on.
late, but
That's
you,
fine.
you going into Walmart and buying your own board. Did you have a discount code that you
Right next to-
you
right
bought
next
a-
to-
you got a full price? You
right
bought a
next to
full
Tony
price?
Hawk. That was crazy, man. I'm like, I mean, just to be next to the Birdman.
You didn't
was,
move those there when you
no,
before
man.
the video.
No, that's real.
That's super dope.
That's
when did
real.
those hit the stores?
They've been out for the last like 6 months.
Nice. And you said the sell through.
Oh, they sold through. Oh, dude, they sold through. They were selling 2 to 1 at Tony's, because we could look at the analytics.
How much are Tony's?
I feel like his are a little cheaper.
Here's the frontside flip you did.
There's the frontside flip.
Damn.
Tony's are a little bit cheaper, but the quality's not as good. But I actually did go into Walmart the other day and
Wait, how much cheaper can you get?
It looked like they did. He's stepping up his game with his board, yeah.
okay.
Which is good.
So what? They're $20 or $25?
I don't know. You have to look on the thing, but yeah, they were like $5 or $10 cheaper.
Okay. Goodness.
So you were going into another story, but before that, what were we just talking about?
Fuel TV.
Fuel TV.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So I feel like skateboarding has given me so much opportunity throughout the years, right? Al Parton came in, gave me opportunity to get to California, get on Millennium, then Rodney Mullen, then Chet Thomas, and then all these like deals that I've gotten throughout the years to make a living doing what I love. I just felt like, dude, like I'm 38. I want to do something good for skateboarding, and I want to give it to like the next kid like coming up in skateboarding, right? So like that wants to get into skateboarding. So we did that with the boards, right? For the mass market that I think was much needed. And then my idea was to create a TV show that would help, because to be honest, there's not that many AM contests, right? You got the Tampa AM, you got Damn AM, but there's not really many. Phoenix AM, but there's not that many. And even the pro, I mean, there's not really that many pro. I mean, when I was skating contests a lot, there was 4 Dew Tours, 5 Maloofs, freaking, I forget, 3X games, 4, whatever. Even Street League had like 6 stops or whatever. It was crazy, you know? And nowadays I'm like, there's not that many events, I feel like. And so I came with this idea to create a TV show. Originally, it was supposed to be called, I came with an idea called Road to the Pros. Meaning we bring in like kind of like a contest elimination show. I don't want to say like American Idol meets skateboarding, but something similar to that, where we grab a
reality show like that.
Not a reality show, because I didn't really want that, but more like we bring in like
Thrasher had the 1 in a million. That was kind of close to what
that
you were talking
exactly
about.
Very close to that. And when we came with the idea, I pitched it to Fuel. They're like, we like it, and we just kind of went back and forth. And dude, I just kept hammering down the door. I was like, we're gonna make this shit happen. Now, the name of the show became Next Generation, because we couldn't guarantee one of these kids were gonna turn pro, right? We can guarantee get them on the show, but to turn pro,
it's up to the companies.
It's up to the companies, right? Yeah. And some of these kids may not ride for Toy Machine, or Primitive, or April Skateboards, or you know what I mean? So that was like a challenge, and I kept saying like, dude, the show should be about bringing the next generation of skateboards, and then Felipe at Fuel was like, next gen. And here, we'll watch the trailer right here.
Yeah. This is
So when does this come out?
And get the notoriety in the streets. In this show, the next generation.
This show's out right now.
Will have a
awesome.
chance to compete against each other to win a top spot at this year's Tampa AM contest.
It's funny. I've seen all these kids at all the local AM contests, or not even local, at all the AM contests. Yeah. Tampa AM, like you were saying.
We'll take you along for the ride where skaters compete in the streets, a skate park, a mini ramp, every obstacle.
So is this like a full season?
At them to see who rises to the top. Skaters not only will be facing each other, but have the chance to play against a professional skateboarder.
So we'll kind of go into it where, I brought in Manny Santiago, Dave Paczynski, Ryan Sheckler, and Ryan DeCenzo to be like guests in each episode.
Now, was
right?
there like judging going on? Like,
yeah.
How do these people move? How do these kids move to the next?
So we hand selected 12 skaters, right?
Okay.
And 6 of the kids were Etnies AMs, because I worked with Fred over at Etnies, because I live in Lake Forest. And I was like, we got to start the kind of like where's the first episode going to be? I'm like, well, Lake Forest could be cool, because Lake Forest Park, like Sheckler's done events there, right? It's like
that's a big park, right?
It's a big park. Well, I just thought like it'd be controlled, right? If we just show up at a random skate park, it was gonna be chaos. So like we could kind of shut down the park and like film there, and that was like our first episode. So I hit up Fred from Etnies, and I go, dude, I got this idea. I'm partnering with Fuel, and I'm just building like in my mind, I'm like thinking like, okay, cool. Like I knew what I want to do for each episode, but I haven't executed yet. Like the Barracks was another episode. I haven't reached out to Steve yet. So I just started one at a time. So I started with Fred. Fred's like, dude, I love the idea. We'll give you the park, but we want the Etnies AMs in it. I said, well, how many Etnies AMs you got? And he's like, well, there's like, I think there was like 8 or something, but half the kids are like from Etnies, right? So 6 of them, right? And then the other ones we just hand selected, like John, who won, he's on the OC Ramps, right?
Okay.
So me and DeCenzo hand selected some people too. So I showed Ryan this idea, and I go, dude, would you want to be part of an episode? I showed Dave Paczynski this, Manny, they all loved it. They were like, dude, we love it. It's about something positive that needs to be done in skateboarding. And at the end of the day, it's like we started with the Etnies Park, and then I was like, I kind of want to make it cool where like, we have 12 skaters. That day 6 get cut, right? Those next 6, we went to OC Ramps. We built the custom rail there. So we did like a rail challenge, custom rail down a double set. And what you would do is like you skate in the first episode, like they battling each other, right? And top scores, top 6, move on to the next. The next 3 episodes were about game of skate. So they would battle each other, and then they'd get like bracket, kind of like Money Maloof Cup a little bit, but with skate. And then you would battle the pro. If you beat the pro or do tricks that the pro picked out, you get extra points. So it's all point driven. So for me, like, you know, like if you go against me in the rail challenge, you do the, I don't know, I pick the tricks like 270 nose blunt. You could do those or kick up from board. You could do those against other kids too. You get 15 extra points or whatever. So it's all point driven. If you beat the pro, you get extra 25 points, right? I forget the exact point measure, but yeah. So we did mini ramp, Dave Paczynski, a rail challenge with myself, a stair set actually at a real street spot, you know what I mean? With Ryan DeCenzo. And then we did Manny's Backyard, which was on the Hubbas in Manny's Backyard. Nice. Took all those points. We got 6 kids. Top 3 get to the barracks, right? The barracks is kind of like, you know, like filming a banging, right? So you got to film your banging, right? But we didn't call it a banging. We just call it like a video part. So you get 1 hour in the park, which is not a lot of time.
I know.
Film all that.
Hey, yo.
I would have almost landed a trick.
Hey,
I would have almost landed a trick.
Hey, I got to be honest with you. These kids' parts were bananas, dude. In 1 hour, dude, they went so hard, dude. Like, it is, like, if you watch the last episode that just came out, like, they went so hard.
So it's the last episode's already out. So people.
This last, so the barracks one just came out last Sunday. The final episode is in Tampa. So the winner, Jonathan Henderson, shout out Jonathan, but Malachi was amazing. Drew was amazing. Andrew Nguyen was amazing. Dude, these guys threw down so hard. Me and Manny got in an argument, like, who's going to win this? I look, because, you know, when I think about skateboarding, like, it could be obvious, like, you know, John won that. Right. He did the tray flip lip to, you know what I mean? Like,
sometimes it is obvious.
There was a little discrepancy, huh?
Dude, it was, and me and shout out Nick, because Nick helped produce the show with me, and he produced my documentary. And I look at Nick, I was like, who should win? He goes, Andrew Nguyen. I'm like, I think Malachi Gray. And then Manny's like, no, John. And we're like looking, I'm like, this ain't good. And man, thank God Manny was there, by the way. But Manny's you know, the man. Manny's the man. But you know, Manny is just a little bit more like, I think, and he was writing down everything too. And I'm on a mic, like hosting, like I'm being Chris Roberts, you know what I mean? Like hosting shit, like lots going on, right? So I'm like, I'm looking at skateboarding. I'm like, whoa, dude, this is, you know, but Manny's writing down tricks, like really, like really judging it. Concise. And all of them threw down. It was like they were so neck and neck, and you know, I feel bad because it's just like, they should all win, but someone's got to win this thing. So John ended up winning it, and not by a lot. Like, it was just kind of like, I think what it went down to, if you really watch all 3 parts, like John did a lot harder tricks, but maybe Malachi did more tricks.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, Manny's like, well, what are we judging? I go, the best skateboarding.
So overall, kind of
the best skateboarding. Well.
Sometimes quality over quantity, man.
Straight up.
Yeah, so like maybe his part wasn't as long, but it was phenomenal, right? Where Malachi Malachi was insane too. And then Andrew, like they all were freaking amazing.
How many episodes did you guys do?
We did 8 episodes. Okay. So anyway, so the winner, John got a free trip to Tampa, $5,000 cash, a $10,000 diamond necklace, and a 1 year. No, he did. Shout out to my boy Darren.
Wow.
Gave him like $10,000 like diamond necklace, which is
more than
awesome.
necklace than he got.
And then he got a 1 year sponsorship with Aqua Hydrate, and we had awesome sponsors, man. Like, and I'm working with now like Tech Deck. Like my boards are in Walmart, so we're going in with Tech Deck to have the same graphic that is selling at Walmart in the same aisle with Tech Deck, and they're a sponsor of the show. We brought in a lot of great sponsors, you know, Aqua Hydrate, Kicker Audio. So he got an awesome like subs in the back of his car. Yeah. He got supplements through On It, who Neen works with as well. And I hooked up Neen with that deal.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've been working with On It for the last like 15 years. Aubrey Marcus and Joe Rogan's a part owner in that.
Wow.
I Neen called my phone. He's like, dude, I really like that brand you're working with On It. And this is before like he really went into the fitness stuff and all that. I was like, dude, I'll hook you up, dude. Like, I want to help people out. You know, if I can help people out.
That's what it's all about, bro.
We'll talk after the show, man, because I feel like
we'll get Aqua Hydrate to sponsor the show. We'll get you guys on there
for sure, bro.
So going back to it,
Yeah.
we brought in these awesome sponsors, Kicker and Aqua Hydrate and On It, and dude, it was just like the dream became a reality, right? And then I seen Kelly at Tampa, and we just run into each other. He's like, "Yo, what up?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm here like filming this like show for the final episode. John won." And I was like, "What's up with 9 Club?" I was like, "I know Chris is like busy doing like kickflip manis at LA, you know." I was like, "But if he gets a spot, let's do it." And then we just connected, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So
well, that's what I was just about to ask you, man. Like
Yeah.
I feel like you have 1,000 things going on. Like, how do you even manage your time? I heard back in the day you got hypnotized.
I did get hypnotized
By the same person that Rob Dyrdek went to.
Yeah, that's Dr. George Pratt.
Which is interesting. Can you please tell us about this? Because I think it's fascinating.
Okay. So we go back to the story of like having these sponsors, right?
Yeah.
And I think me and Rob, like we're both from the Midwest, right? And I feel like he was going through a moment in his life where like he was kind of maybe like DC wasn't going to keep going with shoes and kind of doubting them, right? And I felt like when I watched this interview that he was talking about, and he goes, "Man, like I'm so much more than what I am now, but I'm gonna make something happen." He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna go get hypnotized." So he started like for a hypnotist, right?
He was speaking about this in an interview.
He was speaking about this interview, and then I seen it, but I related to it because I was like, "Man, I just lost like." Not lost one of my biggest deals. I still like was set, you know, it wasn't like, but I knew
Which deal was this around?
It was like K-Swiss and like all that stuff. But I mean, I was set for sure. And I invested like I have, 20 properties now, right? So like,
things were changing though for
me, like I don't even have to work one day in my life now and have passive income coming in, which I think I have mortgages on like 2 of them. Like they're all paid off. Like it's just passive income.
But you
know?
felt like
but
skating.
But going back to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I felt like there was more to be done, not just in skateboarding, but just expanding outside of the horizon of just skateboarding.
Okay.
Which that's kind of where I went into the motorcycle industry, and then like, I don't know, buying more property and just like being more of an entrepreneur because I got inspired by Rob, right? So he went to Dr. George Pratt. He got hypnotized.
Write that down.
Yeah, write that down. He got hypnotized for success, and he talked about it on this interview. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm at a point in my life I kind of want to like kind of venture and do the same thing. So I looked him up, and he's in San Diego, and I called his office, and no. Here's the crazy thing. He had someone that picks up the phone for him, you know, but he's in the hospital. At Scripps Hospital, at Scripps Hospital in San Diego.
Yeah.
So like a stewardess lady picks up, "Hello." I'm like, "Oh, this is weird." I'm like, "Is Dr. George Pratt there?" I'm like, I want to get hypnotized. She's like, "Oh yeah, George is great. Da, da, da. Let me schedule in." So I didn't say anything about Rob Dyrdek or none of this stuff.
Okay.
Then when I met George, he was so calm and cool. He's like, "How'd you hear about me?" I'm like, I rode for the Street League, and I was like one of the 8th people to sign with Rob Dyrdek on the Street League, and man, I love skateboarding, and skateboarding brought me here from the Midwest. And you know, I think I feeling like I'm going through a similar situation that Rob did, where like some sponsors are doubting me, and I feel like I got to a point where I can build bigger success, and I want to come here to talk to you about it. So I just laid it down. I told my whole story, where I'm from, and how I dropped out of high school and like got these sponsors. I made some money, and then those sponsors were leaving me because like I got whatever bought out, and I'm like, but then I rode for like corporate America. I couldn't go back to the core market in skateboarding, so I'm not going to go ride for like America or like, you know, Vans or something. You know what I mean? Like, and he's just like, "Man, you sound just like Rob."
No way.
And he's like, "Dude, he didn't even charge me, dude. He didn't charge me anything." He's like, "Dude, like I just want to," and he just put me through this ritual. And
were you nervous?
You're
gonna come out of there barking like a dog or something.
I always think
I don't think I was nervous. I was.
If you have the right intentions and you're working with somebody professional, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, no.
Reputation to keep.
You know when I got nervous? Actually, I was never nervous, but when I did get nervous is when I pulled to the hospital, because I'm like thinking, this guy's a hypnotist, and we're going to like the 9th floor in like a legit almost like Hogue Hospital.
His office you're going to?
Yeah, I'm going to his office on the 6th
in the hospital
or whatever, 6th or 8th floor in the hospital. I mean, people are getting surgery right here in a a legit like hospital, like Hogue Hospital, like where you get surgery. You know, I'm like, this is weird. This guy's in a freaking hospital.
So
what he is, he's kind of like a therapist with hypnosis, with like, he's got a lot of volume to him, and he's been on Larry King, and he literally changed the way I think. I swear to God, like it sounds crazy. And my brother and my best friend John Luna, they all thought I was crazy going to him, and I, honest to God, it's changed my entire life.
Did they go to him after?
No.
Is it?
They never did.
Is it repeating certain words?
You know what it comes down to? It comes down to understand. This is kind of true too, and Mikey Taylor talks about this. Like, if you can make it in skateboarding, you can learn how to fall and get back up.
All day.
You can make it in real estate. You can make it in the real world, right? Yeah. And in skateboarding, it teaches you how to fall, get back up, and keep going. Now, if you put those same kind of things in other places of your life, you can definitely go really far. Now, he didn't really teach me that, but I know that, right? What he taught me is like how to use my like subconscious mind, understanding and having a vision for something, where a vision's like creating the skateboards that wanted to go into big box retail stores like Walmart. Cause I went through what I went through, and growing up, I wanted to make change there. Have an idea for a TV show, have an idea for writing for certain companies.
Manifestation, bro.
It is. And like, I do the sauna all the time. Like, I have a sauna, infrared sauna in my house that I go in there and I meditate, and I like almost every day sitting there, and it changed my life. And I literally, and I write down, I have a book that I write down.
Like a checklist.
Not even a checklist,
accomplished
bro.
list?
I'm going to pull up right now just to show you guys, because it's true, you know, manifest. The universe will serve it if you believe you deserve it. And I write down everything I'm going to do in my life, and all that comes true. Because understanding, if you want to get to a place here, you have to take steps to get here.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to get here, but they don't want to do I don't say the work to get there, but they don't think about the steps to get there. You know what I mean? And you know, I think he taught me how to manifest and use my subconscious mind to believe that I was born to be successful, and I did it in skateboarding, to go into other areas in my life. And like, I love skateboarding, but I also I ended up getting into loving entrepreneurship. And like, if I watch TV, all I watch is like super positive shows like Shark Tank, The Profit, like things that are really beneficial for my mind, like inspirational stuff.
Sure.
Like my ex-girlfriend, I don't want to bring her up on this, but like, she would watch like a lot of negative shows, like drama shows, like
Lifetime channel.
Like, well, I'm just saying, like The Bachelor, or like there's just a bunch of random shows. I could never watch it, so like it just didn't relate with me, and just like there was no purpose there for me. So like, I'll watch the same Shark Tank, to be honest, like over and over, because I love hearing people's stories. I love seeing people create products. I love seeing people create success, right?
Show, man.
So
Marcus Lemonis, the Prophet.
Yeah, The Prophet's amazing. And like, when I watched the episode with Neen, I'm like, oh my God, he's from the Midwest. And he sends me his and I buy some of his spices too. Yeah. But he sent me a bunch when he first started. Like, we're really good.
He's super dope.
He's super dope, dude. And like, he's one that like thought outside the box with skateboarding, but also still rode for like the super core market.
He's fucking gnarly as shit. He hasn't dropped a step on his skateboard.
He's an amazing skateboarder. Yeah. But he never really stepped outside the box. Maybe a little bit on it or whatever, but like the energy drink. But he always stayed true to what he was doing too. But what I got to go back to is like, because we grew up in a similar, you know, like era and similar age. Right. And it's just cool to see skateboarders like think outside the box to still do what they love to do, but also like take the passion. I love to cook, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to take this idea of like, there's not that many spices that I like to work with. Yeah. So I'm going to make the product super clean, and I'm going to bake with this. And because I love to bake and I want clean product, and just create something really cool. And that's something like, when you're creating a product or when you're looking at something, you got to be true to yourself and be true to why you're doing it, why you love it, and then breaking down the steps of how to make it a reality, which I think George had taught me and just simple things. So if you ever see a basketball player, right, he's doing this, dribbling, and then he goes like this, that's turning off the light switch on the other player. I don't know if you ever watched that. And like George told me, like three light switches up, boom, turn on the light switch. Okay. There's just like little things. Like, so if you look at like Andrew Reynolds, he's always like, and I use this too. Oh, he's like
taps his board.
Yeah, just little things like that. And sometimes in life, like there's just little things that you can do that will trigger the brain to like. It's like if you're skateboarding and then you get to you're at a spot and you've been trying the trick for like an hour, and all of a sudden the cop comes around the corner. Yeah. And then you landed that one. You landed that one.
Right.
Because the mind, you told yourself that you're going to do it because you've seen that. Now, if you can train your mind, which Reynolds has done really well. Yeah. That's why he uses these techniques. And I use some of these techniques too. Or you see Tom Penny chilling there, just like spinning the four wheels, like all chill, like, and then he does the frontside flip perfect, right? He's using those kind of techniques. But like,
subconsciously, he doesn't even know he doesn't even know that that's a part of it.
Or maybe he does.
Or maybe he does.
I think he probably just like, all right, I'm ready to just do it.
A lot of people will equate it to OCD too. Like, I got to tap my things 3 times. I got to do this. I got to do that.
Yeah, Reynolds had that. I
guess that is an OCD, but at the end of the day, it's triggering your brain to like understand that like this is the one I'm gonna do.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. When because the key word here is hypnotized, right? And then you're also saying like he's teaching you how to do this. How does it actually work? Are you laying down on a couch and he's putting you into a state of relaxation?
Yeah, it's not.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not getting a watch and going like this, right?
No.
And he says like, "Bark! You're a dog now."
We're not going like that.
It's more of putting you in a state.
You know what? When you go to him,
what's it like?
It is a different experience, but he lets you record like some of the movements, and there's like a lot of like mentally tapping, and there's just a
little routine he has for you.
Just look him up. Just look him up on YouTube and just type in Dr. George Pratt and type in hypnotist, and you'll just kind of see like he uses certain techniques that really like trigger the brain to the next level. And he works on like not just like I think Rob and like obviously myself, like it's called like going to hypnotize for success, which I think me and Rob don't really probably look at that way.
Well, I'm just wondering.
I'm just kind of saying that because I seen the video of him, and then I'm like, not that I needed more success, but I knew I needed someone to talk to get to this next level where I wanted to go. Right. Because I'm like, man, I want to invest more in real estate. Man, I want to open up a motorcycle shop. Man, I want to expand in my skateboarding career, maybe a little bit outside the box even more, which we've done. Oh man, I want to create a TV show. All this stuff that I wanted, I think it was just like hard to break down, like really how to do it. And I think he just gave me techniques to understand how to break it down to really get to the end goal, what you want.
But are you like a reassuring like reset?
That's what I'm saying. He's like,
are you in a state?
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, like I definitely lay down and like it's a full like.
Does he get you into like, hey, repeat these words? Or
yes,
like,
yes, yes, he does. Okay. Yes, oh yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he definitely does like some self-confidence stuff. Does that make sense? You know, and you do some.
I mean, I heard techniques at the house. Like you could just, you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm gonna do well today. You know what I mean? Like
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
10 times.
Here's the thing. My brother asked about it. One of my best friends, John Luna, asked about it. Right, and you can't really explain until you went through it. Yeah. And you're gonna ask about it too. And until you should go to him.
Okay.
And you could go to him about just life talk. He's a great life coach. That's what I say. He's a great life coach. Mm-hmm. And once you go to him, then we'll talk, and you'll be like, dude, he did change some stuff about me. I mean, I don't know, man. I just get
his number, bro.
I just know from my experience, you know, and just seeing that from that interview that Rob had, and there was a point there was a point, to be honest, Chris, that I felt like skateboarding was like I was losing some sponsor, or I just felt like it was kind of over. Like I was like, oh man, I think I just kind of like got down on myself. Like I think I had my run, and just like and to be honest, anyone after 30 that's still making any kind of living in skateboarding, God bless you. Because
I mean, it is a real thing with skateboarders.
So I just felt like at that time, I think I just had the best days I was behind me, you know. And then after I went to him from this age, 28 to where I'm at now, 10 years, dude.
So this was around 2009, 2010-ish you went to go see him?
Whatever, 10 years ago, like 28, 29 years old.
2014.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say, from then to now, dude.
Crazy.
My life now,
which
I couldn't even imagine back then. It's crazy. It's just like, it's totally different than I could ever imagine. Yeah.
Can you get a good idea, like you said, looking at YouTube, looking him up, you can get a good idea?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he'll because he's got a lot of videos and he'll go into talking about certain techniques for sure. He's amazing.
Okay.
He's amazing. Yeah. And I think Rob like brought drama to him, and like I think he's helped out a lot of
skateboarders,
other friends of Rob's. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I just had watched that. It's just one of those things. I just watched this because I'm a big fan of what Rob does, and I'm a like he's a serial entrepreneur. And he's amazing, and like how he built his skateboard career, and then building companies, and then building his real estate. And now, like help him build all these other brands, and sells these brands, and built the dude. He's insane. He's so gnarly, and like I really like I look up to people like that. And if there's anyone that I look up to, like that dude's the man.
First and foremost, he's a skateboarder,
and he's a skateboarder.
That's the most relatable thing that I think we all can be like, damn, bro, if he did it. Yeah. Like, what are the steps that I can do to
and
do that?
The reason, obviously, I don't have a show on MTV nor three of them, but there was a point in me that I was like, man, I want to create a show like Rob did. I could probably create a show. Now, Field TV is not like as big as MTV, but I want to do it in a way that was good for skateboarders and good for the upcoming skateboarders. And like, even to this day, like I'm building ramps with OC Ramps, and we built a new one that's like one of the top selling obstacles right now. It's like a small little quarter pipe, and it goes flat, and there's a ledge on the back, and you can skate like a launch ramp. You can skate like a quarter pipe. It's got you know what I mean? It's perfect for a beginner skater. It's fun for like a guy like myself that can skate like a launch ramp. And then we also created a curb kicker. The curb kicker is basically like a rad product that you can set up going up to, you got the curb, but you got a rail right there, and you're like, shoot, and I gotta like build this like janky thing to get up the curb real quick.
Dude, I used to use that. They had a metal one that I would use for a bunch.
That's my curb kicker.
Really?
That's mine.
Hey, thank you for that one. I used that thing a ton.
David Lloyd got one.
Nice use a sign.
Well, you could. Yeah.
But this one was like perfect.
Yeah, that one is perfect because we took the sign, we just basically made it flat and then down, so it sits perfect. That's and then for kids, they could skate it like kind of like a launch ramp. You know what I'm talking about? But then for us, like a quick little and then for us, we can just like plop that thing up, boom. And where I really used it a lot was there was a double kink rail in UCI. I think. I did like gap nose grind like. Back then we used the sign, but that was in 4-on-1 days.
But that was like there's a curb route you land too, right?
The curb, Heath Kirchart.
Yeah, exactly.
Like nose blunt that, right after
the dirt and rolls off the fucking curb.
Now looking at it, I'm like, how do I even skate that either?
That thing sucked.
That thing does suck. Well, back
I'm
then,
like, why did they skate this?
Yeah, I know. Now I go back to it, I'm like, why did I skate this thing? But I remember doing like a line like half cat flip up and then lip slide through the kink. I remember being so quick.
Wow, yeah, that is very
super quick. But so I think skateboarding is like one of those things, like a lot of it is in your mind, and like you picture the trick, you go after the trick, you fall, you go get it. And I feel like life is that way.
True. Sure.
So like if you want to be like, you can have whatever you want, to be honest. You just have to visualize like what you want, and you have to take the steps to go after it.
Well, that's the thing is I can visualize $1 billion, right? But it's the steps.
But here's another thing. You got to do things for the right reasons. Like I didn't do a deal with having my boards in Walmart because I wanted $1 million.
Sure.
I was already very set off. Like I could never before any of these deals. I was fine. You know what I mean? Like tomorrow, nothing could happen, and I could just live off my investments.
You saw that there's something that needed to be
I seen something that like really was a passion of mine to like really help out these next generation skaters coming up, whether it's a young kid at 7 years old or 8 years old that needs a good complete, or if it's a 15-year-old kid that doesn't have the opportunity, and we can throw them on a TV show to get exposure, right? Another thing, and I just got to be very honest, I've been thinking about like a lot lately, like because I'm always crazy, like what's my next step? What am I gonna do? Because I'm never happy sometimes because I just feel like there's just always so much more to do. And I feel like I learned a lot through the school of life, not through the school.
Life of school.
Life of school. what I want to do, now I'm going to get 100 kids probably hit me up, but this is true. Through my career, I've had so many good experiences working with so many good brands. I've never burned any bridges, right? And I have all these contacts through all these awesome brands, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like I want to be a Todd Hahn, where I can bring in
an agent type.
I don't want to say agent's a weird word. I hate that word. That word.
You connect.
I connect the dots.
You're a middleman.
No, you're a connector.
Yeah,
You wanna be a connector.
that's what I want to do. I want to help out. You know, it's like someone like John. He's like, dude, I won the TV show. I got the Aqua Hydrate deal. I'm with Character Skate.
Yeah.
You know, but how do I get to that next level? Or how do I get on a whatever, a big shoe company, right? And like, even though I just think being a skateboarder, there's a lot of connections there. And even if you didn't ride for a brand, like I know Don, right, at American S, or I know Kelly, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could put those connections together, at least connect the dots, at least help out this next kid coming up. And that is a passion of mine, to help out. Like Al Partner created a brand that just came back. It's called Space Pupil, but back in Milwaukee it was called Pupil, people uplifting people in life, PUPIL. Shout out Al Partner. Seriously. And that's real stuff. Yeah. It's like, he helped me out, people uplifting people in life. And I feel like throughout my skateboarding career, so many people helped me out, right? And for me to create like new products that are for, you know, the kid coming up, or ramps for the beginner kid. Because dude, I mean, we all know we didn't have a ramp company like OC Ramps or something like that. You had to get your Thrasher ramp plans.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Ramp plans, and then go to Home Depot and figure out how to. Hopefully your dad had a saw or something. Cut this stuff.
That shit's very far few in between.
So,
shout out to Keen Ramps too, because there's another one.
Keen Ramps too. I mean, there wasn't ramp companies like that back then. Is what I'm trying to say.
All day.
And it is a beautiful thing. Like skateboarding has came to a point where there's just more, I guess, resources than when we were kids growing up. Because how did you guys get sponsored? It's like, for me, I built a Sponsor Me tape. And then it was a VHS tape. I looked in Thrasher. I looked at the address and wrote a little letter in there that, you know, kind of said, "Hey, I like your brand. Hey," you know, and send that shit in the mail and never hear nothing back.
Right.
You do it over and over and over.
But also, the advantage for myself, I'm going to speak out loud. Just I think being in California, you already kind of have the advantage. So being at contests, I didn't really have to make you
didn't make a sponsor tape.
I did, but I didn't go send it to everybody. Yeah, you know what I mean. It was just like I was at the contest at the right time, and people were like, "Damn."
Hey, you got a good point, because when that started happening, I went to Tampa AM because I got sent there. Then I had the connections through Al.
Everybody's
then I got hooked up with Bones. Then I got hooked up with Globe. Then I got hooked up with Rodney. Then it was like a snowball effect. But man, dude, if you're in the Midwest, dude,
no, it's definitely harder for. And I praise everybody, because everybody that's not from California, where the mecca of skateboarding is. Because you guys are like you're journeymen, you know what I mean.
And that's why I knew. Why I knew I had to move to California to make this shit happen.
Oh, a lot of people.
And
it's different now.
And I'm glad that I grew up in the basement. And I'm glad that I had a paper out. And I'm glad that I knew that I only wanted to skateboard because I didn't want to do anything else. And this is my passion. And I'm going to do everything to make this happen. And I'm glad I worked kind of a job at one point that was just like, no, this is what you're doing. There was no plan B. Like straight, you're dropping out of high school. You ain't moving back. Like in my mind, I ain't moving back, dude. Well, number one, I didn't want to disappoint anyone back back home. Like, hey, he's back. Oh, that's funny. He's back.
Yeah.
I was like, hell no, we ain't going. And then anytime opportunity arises, I was like, man, we're gonna do it. You know, it had to fit too. You know what I mean? But it was definitely like, I never really cared what people thought. I just was like, I'm here. I'm gonna freaking make this shit happen.
Yeah, you had a different mindset that I think a lot of skateboarders had at that time.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people just care what other people thought.
100%,
100%.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just like coming from my era of like being born here in skating, I felt a lot more comfortable. When you coming from outside and coming in here, you're like, no, I'm going full.
Dude, I didn't care, man.
Yeah, you were like, I'm going full force.
Well, again, he didn't want to go back.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's the biggest. Yeah. That's the biggest thing right there. That explains a lot.
But also,
there's been a lot of those guys.
No, 100%.
Hey, but also, there was nothing back home.
Right.
Like I go back home to this day, and I'm just like, man. Like I love the Midwest. Don't get me wrong. But man, there's no opportunity for skateboarding out there.
When you hear stories like Jamie Thomas, he's like, he risked it all. He's like, I'm
Jamie Thomas, Chad Muska, Jeff Raleigh.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the dudes that really came out, and they're not from California. They came to California and make shit happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they don't forget where they're from, and I don't forget where I'm from either, and that's why, like, with the documentary I created, dude, the whole beginning is all about my hometown.
Yeah,
you know, and I love my hometown, and I praise my hometown, but dude, I had to make the move to California to make it happen, and then it just like one thing came to the next, like film this part, and then it was just never enough for me. I was just like, man, yeah, the almost round 3 part's cool, but the second before that thing even came out, I was already filming to. I don't even remember the next part. They probably Globe or Oakley. I was just always filming. I just love skateboarding, you know. So like, I never filmed. I think it got to a point like after. Well, I knew I was filming for almost round 3, but I think we just always kept filming.
You just touched on the documentary that you're coming up with.
Oh yeah,
One-way ticket.
Yeah.
And I think that explains a lot too, because the one-way ticket, to me, you just said it. You didn't want to go back.
Yeah,
one-way
100%.
ticket to California,
Correct.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And I watched the documentary. It's interesting, like from the hockey when you were younger. Correct. And all this stuff, and it's interesting, man. How did you even like go about like wanting to do a documentary? Because right now, you said before the show, it's not even out yet.
No,
you don't know
it's
where
not.
to put it.
Yeah. We didn't have a plan, or I didn't have a plan for it. To be honest, like I was working with Nick, my buddy Nick, that produced this documentary, that ended up working with me on the TV show. I brought him on the show. Mm-hmm. I got inspired, dude. Like I seen one of my good friends from the Midwest, Mod's son, came out with a documentary. That was just really good. And like being from, I don't know, there was just a few documentaries that like I watched. I said, man, we could do something in skating. Like I'm from the Midwest. Like, I don't know, we could tie it in. And it was more of a passion project. And then what I looked at when it turned out so different than what I would have thought it would have. But to me, I was thinking like all my video parts and certain accomplishments, I just put them into one place. And if I have kids one day, I just show them like, oh, this is what your dad did, you know, for the last, I don't know.
Oh, but it turned into a whole
20 years.
Story.
It turned into a freaking movie, right? well, that's
an hour and a half, right? 2
I don't
hours,
even
a couple
know.
hours, I
It's
think.
long, dude.
Yeah.
Like I know I told Nick, I was like, man,
almost
this
2
thing's
hours.
long. It's almost 2 hours. And Nick was like more like the kind of creative guy. Like there's my parents
There's
right
your
there.
folks right there. There's you.
There's me as
the
a
little kid.
It was my first scoot skate.
Scoot skate.
I don't know, skateboard.
wow.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
rad that you
Look
have
at my
footage
dad.
for all this
This
stuff.
is really cool, actually.
Yeah, it was like my dad. There. See the houses in the background?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how small the house was I grew up in.
Yeah.
No, seriously, like tiny house, like
Okay.
$400 rent.
Falling
maybe.
it in.
So wait, did you pay for this to be done?
Well,
Or did you have help from like? some of
no,
your
I didn't bring
sponsors?
it. No, I didn't bring in no sponsors. Like me and Nick just kind of look at the old school cars, by the way.
Oh yeah.
In the background. Yeah, this is very Midwest, you know. And by the way, yeah, I didn't bring in one sponsor. No, it wasn't like it was more just done for me, you know, like that I wanted to do and kind of show like a cool story. Like if I have kids one day, I can show them like all these like crazy moments when I was a little tyrant, you know.
So your family was definitely filming a lot back in that.
Yeah,
that
but
time.
they my dad just always had like the big camera, you
Yeah.
know, and
Dad
I don't
cam?
think he like dad,
Full on.
you know, like the big
Yeah,
one, the
big
VHS
one.
tape.
VHS tape.
Yeah, but obviously it worked out now because it
Oh, yeah,
came,
it's great.
it went
Perfect.
into a film, and that's. But I don't think it was planned that way.
did it get reformatted? Because it looked really good.
Oh, I went on. Dude, we did it such on a budget level, bro. Like literally, like me and Nick just kind of like threw it together. He flew out to California. Or going back to it, I went on Amazon. They have a digitizer.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that you can plug in like the you know the 3 chords, the white, yellow,
Yeah.
red.
Yep.
You just plug them in. You can take your VHS tape and digitize it, and then it goes onto your computer, and there you go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
I need to do that.
Yeah. So all that old footage, like that's how that got digitized.
Right.
So what are you gonna do with it?
Well, hang on. Let me go into it. So
Go ahead.
So we created this, and then Nick is completely opposite of me. Right, Nick's like, dude, you want to schedule? We're gonna have these interviews, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, we can bring Chris Ortiz in. Oh yeah, we can bring probably Ryan DeCenzo, Chet Thomas, and I'm just speaking like out loud on the phone to him, right? And he's like, and he's probably writing down notes like, oh yeah. And I said, yeah, just probably come out for like 10 days or something like that. We'll figure it out. Like it'll be all good. Nah, dude. He like literally like wrote me an email like, all right, what days are we gonna shoot with these dudes? What time slot? Like it was at a point where like it was almost like this is where we're eating lunch. I'm like, Oh man, because this is just the way he works, which is a good thing, and that's why the film turned out so good, like for real, because of Nick, not because of me, because I'm scatterbrained and kind of like I just go with the flow, like we're just cruising, whatever. But he's very structured, and when we shot the TV show too, if you watch the TV show, it's like it's done really well because of Nick, right? Okay, I'm the host, I'm the Chris Roberts of the show. Is my idea to do it, but on the end of the day, Nick really
he's guiding you.
I wouldn't say guiding. He just
put it all together.
Put it all together, man. Like, so he's like, all right, so who are we shooting on Thursday? I'm flying in. I'm like, thinking, dude, it's like Monday. I'm like, shit, I haven't talked to no one, but we're gonna work this thing out. So I hit up DeCenzo. He's like, yeah, I'll shoot on Thursday. And I hit up Lando. I'm like, can you meet at Ryan's house? So that was easy. Boom, we got that done. And first day went good or whatever, and the next day he's like, all right, who we gonna shoot next or whatever. So and Appleyard became a part of it. I forget who, so we went to Huntington. We shot Bill Weiss at his house, Chet Thomas at his house, and then Mark Appleyard at his house. But Mark was just on the whim, man. I was like, oh yeah, Mark lives in Huntington, bro. Like I'll hit up Mark, man. He'd probably be down, dude. Like this would be sick. Like we can talk about like the digital days and all that kind of stuff. Mark's so chill. He's like, dude, cruise over. Like, that'd be sick.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Dude.
I'm actually not doing anything.
Yeah. Super.
Come on over.
It's super chill.
Go
grab some Wahoo.
Yeah, he's super chill. So we shot all them in one day, right? And it was like, it's crazy. And like, dude, I'm a huge Mark Appleyard fan. And I'm a fan of his skateboarding, but I'm a fan of him as a person too. He's a dude. He's
the best.
He is, dude. He's a good. He's funny. He's from Canada, dude. So it's like, have you ever met someone from Canada that sucks?
That's budget. Never. No, I've never met somebody from Canada that's budget.
Yeah, dude. He's the man. There he is, right there.
Oh yeah, I met Lutzka.
Hey, DeCenzo too. DeCenzo's the man, dude. Like he's from Canada. Like, dude, all the Canadians are just. And Muska. Oh yeah, I got a good story about that. So, all right, so there was this trick that I did, front three kickflip over the riverbed thing. I don't know if
yeah.
You know,
it's the one that Muska ollied.
Muska built that. Muska built that.
It's huge.
Yeah, he built that kicker. So like we're looking through the footage. I'm like, Chad built that. Like, this is kind of crazy, but maybe I'll hit up Chad and see if he wants to like be part of the documentary. We can like tie him into it. And by the way, Chad lives in Ohio, right? So Nick that helped produce this with me lives in Tito, Ohio. So it was like, all right, well, Chad wasn't out here, but he's like, yeah, I could drive to his house. And Nick loves skateboarding, so like I was like, just don't fan out on fucking Muska, bro.
Don't ruin this for me.
Yeah. So he drives out there, and like Chad lives on a ranch. I haven't been to Chad's house, but lives on a sick ass ranch, and like you know, and super laid back. Like, you know, he's living his life and, you know, enjoying everything. So I'm like, just don't fan out on the dude, like, you know. He's like, dude, I won't do it, but I'm gonna bring the shorties board with the like with the chick on it, fucking Rosa. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna ask him to sign it. I was like, you should do that for sure. I was like, that's cool, but do that at the end.
When you got the shots,
comes right in.
And he only lives like an hour and a half from.
Muska's a great dude too.
Oh, great dude. Oh yeah. And I was gonna say, dude, they got along.
Here's the thing.
There it is, the front three kickflip.
Damn.
Chad, or what do you? Yeah,
I was gonna say there was a front three.
Front three kickflip.
That was front three kickflip.
You missed it. You missed it.
Fast. Hold on. Oh wait, here we go. Let me just watch this real quick. Bam. Yeah, man.
The front three kickflip. Yeah.
So you just went there, knowing to do that, or you just went there and just was checking out.
Like I said, dude, when we go skate, man, me and Hoops, like we never planned a trick, or we didn't really. Actually, the one time I did plan a trick, I wanted to go to the Hollywood High Rail, and I went to kickflip back lip it, and that's what happened. That was the first and last time I planned any skateboard trick.
Oh, geez.
So you know, some people like
but there hasn't been one where you're like, I need to go to that rail and I'm going to do that trick.
I don't think so, man.
Really?
There's been tricks that I battled, like the front board down Robert Frost. That was till like down the double kink. That was, dude, we were there for like 2-3 hours. That was long. That was a battle actually. And but I've never planned anything, dude. Like I'm not
good though. I can relate to that. Real shit.
That's just more 90s style skating than anything.
Yeah,
you're not planning shit, really.
No, and I hate to say this, but people do plan stuff or shit or whatever you want to say. I just never planned anything because I never wanted to have the pressure to build up to have to do it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I could
So I never
definitely
wanted to
understand
call out. And sometimes, there were tricks in my mind that I was like, maybe I'll try that when I get there. But I'd never tell Hoops like, we're going here to do this trick at this time with this photographer. You know what I mean?
That shit backfires, bro. That's happened
but other
plenty
people,
of times to me.
But other people it works for, like Paul McNall, would be like, dude, we're going here with Nick Skirch and we're shooting this backflip at this time. Dude,
There's
he's
a lot of people. Guy Mariano, he's very calculated.
is he calculated? And that works. That
Very calculated.
everybody has their own recipe of how this. Yeah, the front board down Robert Frost. I was getting kind of like service, and just going for it. But
Now you got Midler kickflip backflip.
dude, I was just gonna bring that up, bro.
That was so bananas.
That was
bro.
insane.
He got serviced on that shit.
And he
Yeah,
got
he
up
did.
and finished.
Well, even Artos, even Artos, dude, even Artos Sari's back lip.
True.
Dude, let me be
Yes,
honest,
all
dude.
day,
Like,
all day.
I mean, if you're battling a front board on that thing,
dude,
come on now.
that took me probably, man, I want to say like 2.5 hours. And Hoops is like, well, and we're in the valley, right? He's like, well, I got
Deep
the
in the valley.
Yeah, he's like, well, I got the keys to the car, and I like I have a hat on, and the whole time, and I just took my hat. I said, "F you, Hoops!" Like, fuck it, I'm doing it right here.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting to that one, but I needed him to
Say
me.
that,
I
yeah.
needed him to do that,
Yeah.
And if you look like no hat,
This is the make, I think.
like just kind of like.
Boom.
And I'm glad that he gave me shit because it wasn't gonna happen
It's
if
so
he,
funny. This is the funniest.
And by the way, I love lighting up spots.
I
Yeah.
hate it.
Like night
You
skating.
you hate it?
It's a worse. But
I used
Why?
to. I used to.
what I'm going to say though
Dude,
is
you,
like,
you light up the generator, you get
No,
fucking
no,
pumped
no, I
up,
hate that noise.
and, dude, and you just look at it, you're like,
I hate that.
well, for me, just speaking for myself right now,
ahead.
for me, once you light up that generator, like it gives me more motivation to land the trick and do it.
For sure.
Otherwise,
There's a purpose behind it.
You feel pressure. I feel like we're gonna do it because I don't want to let the generator down unless it runs out of gas. Where during the day, it's like, well, we come back tomorrow.
the first, okay, here's
Right?
the thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
come
is-
back tomorrow.
I hear you.
This is the
Or-
word. This is the thing that I hate about the generator is I hate. No, Rush. No, I hate that noise. No. Turn it off. Turn it off. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Good job,
Here's the
Raj.
thing.
Yeah.
I hate it when you're filming during the day and you're taking so long and it turns into night and then you got to break the generator.
Oh,
lights out.
yeah, I wouldn't
that
like
is
that.
the worst.
No, that is the worst.
Especially when you walk away and you don't get it.
Oh my!
Oh, I agree with that.
But
But
the
I like showing up at whatever midnight
Lighting
and
it all
just
up, doing
you
the thing.
fire that thing
Yeah.
up. You're like, and you're setting the lights. You're like here, like on the 9 Club. You get the
Setting-
lights set up.
I always
You're like,
find it
it's
hard-
gonna go down right now.
You get some good vibes right at the
Yeah.
end.
You got to numb that out, dude.
Well, nowadays-
I get anxiety with this.
Hey, well
Like-
nowadays they got the lights that just like
Yeah, they don't make no
they
noise.
don't even make no noise.
Yeah.
Bro, back
But
in
here,
the day,
I'm
But,
just-
but
I'm
it
just-
used to be fun to like jump over the fence. You grab the generator. You're like jumping over. You know what I mean?
No,
Carrying the
for
lights.
sure.
The
There's
cops
moments.
show up. Like
For sure.
remember the Rob Dyrdek created that movie too, Street Dreams, and they like it was a little bit over the top, but it's
That's movie
kind of
magic,
it's
yeah.
kind of true though. You get the you're whatever doing shit at night.
but like it used to be
Yeah.
way back, the generators were so much louder.
Yeah.
And then they had the Honda one.
Yeah, the
that
Honda
one was
one.
battery.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they used to be loud, and they would piss people
Oh
off. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
the neighbors, the
Those are
neighbors.
so true.
Yeah, the
Well,
neighbors
Ty-
came out
No, you're right.
swinging.
You're right with
Ty would have to put the generator all the way around the
Yeah.
corner.
So you know,
He'd muffle it.
That is
Yeah.
true.
He'd run over and be like, "All right, Roberts, wait, let's go."
Hey, the new kids in skateboarding, man, they don't get that.
They plug it
dude.
into the wall.
Yeah,
They're good.
I know, dude.
No sound.
No, even Manny, dude. One of the last Rockstar trips we went on. Manny came out before. This is I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that. He came out and had the lights that just ding, no
Oh, yeah.
generator, and they were bright.
Well, they got the
Battery
electric
lights,
generators
yeah.
that don't make no noise.
Oh, I
at
didn't see
all.
the electric one.
Yeah,
I
they're
believe
gnarly.
it.
Yeah,
I
they're
believe
super
it.
sick.
But I'm just saying, he had the lights just flick on, just like this, like
Yeah.
Just battery,
studio lighting, battery
operated.
operated.
Yeah.
You ever see like or
But
hear,
I feel like the battery operated ones, because I'm just so used to skating with the generator. You're like,
Yeah.
it didn't motivate me as much. I think there was just because I grew
Nostalgia. Right.
No, just I grew up listening to the generator, and then I got to a point where like I would even tell Lando, I was like, because Hoops like got married, had kids, and like did his thing, so he's like, I can't film at night. So me and Lando would go, and I'm like, no, we're fucking filming at night, and like we're like I switch backside flip into the riverbed in Huntington or whatever, and I'm like, no, we're filming it. He's like, why don't we go there today? I was like, day sucks. I was like, it's gonna look better at night.
Some spots do look better.
I said it's gonna look better at night, and it's gonna motivate me to land this, because if we're breaking out the generator, we're here to do
No doubt.
we're here to do things. And like I think Heath Kirchart too, like one of my favorite parts is the sight unseen, and like the whole part is pretty much filmed at night, almost. Right,
I will give it that though. When you do have the ability to light up a spot the way that you want to light it up, and I'm talking about like to make it look good.
yeah.
Some spots, they look way better at night.
And if you're filming,
100%.
how cool does it look? Like where you're like coming from the dark into the light, and then the next clip coming from the dark into the light, and it's just almost like it just flows. Like I feel like Heath did a good job with that, right?
Oh,
Has anyone filmed the full part like at night? Is that like
Heath kind of
did. I think
he
he
was the
wanted to
first
though.
one to do so
Did he
almost?
not? I feel like
majority of his clips were
at night.
Yeah, at night. I think.
And that's
80%.
probably and that's probably why. Number one, he probably enjoyed the way it looked.
Yeah.
And number two, it probably motivated him. Like, dude, we're getting the generator right now. We're gonna throw it down. Like this is what. And
Or
he
this
was.
is the look.
And he was doing crazy shit.
I mean,
So
he's
it's
a
like,
maniac, so
yeah.
he probably wanted something. To that effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, dude, like to be honest with you, like, yeah, I'm gonna go get hypnotized. I'm gonna call up.
I
the
think
dude.
you should.
Yeah.
Dude, so like generators?
I'm gonna
like,
go-
I want to get hypnotized like
Hey,
generators now.
Chris is gonna get hypnotized. He's gonna buy a generator, and then he's gonna create a documentary built around the 9 Club of how this all started.
There you go.
And he's gonna inspire a lot of other people to do cool shit, and maybe they'll create a very successful podcast like yourself and bring in all these different awesome skateboarders. You know what I mean? And talk about it.
You know,
And talk about it.
yeah. I mean,
You'll be like the new George Pratt.
there you go. There you go. Yeah. No, it's just interesting, man. I feel like you've had a very interesting career.
Yeah,
I feel
thank you.
like you've had opportunities that you've created for yourself and not cared about it, what other people think. Because
Yeah.
I think that is a huge part about skateboarding is a lot of people
Hell yeah.
really, really, really do care about what other people think,
Yeah.
especially nowadays with comments.
Yeah.
Comments can
Yeah.
really, really put a damper on what you want to do
Yeah.
and what you
But
want to
what-
do for yourself to
But
earn a living in skateboarding.
Yeah.
You know, that's a problem now. Like there's too many people like sell out this, sell out that. I'm like,
Yeah. But I don't think it's about that. I think it's more about, in life, like figuring out what you love to do, whether it's skateboarding or playing golf or like doing podcasts,
Sure.
whatever you enjoy to do. If you're able to make a living doing it, it's a blessing. And then you never have to work a day in your life because you're doing what you love to do.
100%.
Now, if you're blessed and you make some money doing it, that's cool. What I would recommend is to invest that money to make passive income and invest in a certain thing. You can't tell someone what to invest into. And I think I just had an opportunity along the way where my neighbor was a lot older than me, investing in real estate. He's like, you should buy some of these condos.
And you trusted in what he was saying to you.
I mean, I'd never seen him leave the house and go to work. So I was like, he must know what he's talking about.
Straight to
He's
the
like,
point.
well, I own a bunch of condos that I bought in Arizona, and like I think you should do the same.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes sense to me. And then as I got older, I was just like, oh yeah. And then I just started investing more and more, right? And but at the end of the day, I didn't like. I don't think I bought condos because I loved real estate or something, and then I fell more in love with it as time went along. I was like, oh well, getting some passive income, and then I just knew like I didn't have to worry about like skateboard. I never really had to worry about skateboard money, but I just knew like skateboard sponsorship wasn't going to last forever, right?
You had to replace that.
but it also got you where you were to that point
Yeah.
of being able to invest.
It did.
You needed to
It
get
did.
those sponsors.
But I think
the
people
K-Swisses,
along the way got me to. I think everything just worked. Like you meet people along the way. Like you said
Yeah.
earlier, like I grew up in California and I never sent a sponsor me take because I knew people along the way. Where
Totally.
I grew up, where dude, you're like hustling your ass off to film this sponsor me tape. You're sending it to Toy Machine from address you see at the bottom of the ad. And you don't hear nothing back. And this is before social media. You're like, fuck, do I send them another one? Did they see it? You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
Yeah, right.
and then they get in town, right? And they do demos. Like you guys came to Four Seasons, right? I'm like, maybe Toy Machine's not the company. Maybe Chocolate and Girl are, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For
And
sure.
I think skateboarding's one of those things like it changed all of our lives 100%. It's a beautiful thing in such a positive way. And I I think I just kind of went my own lane of just like figuring out like, I think I just never wanted to pass opportunity, whether it was like a sponsorship opportunity or it was my neighbor saying you should invest into this.
Right.
And I think I just trusted people along the way.
It's good.
So you have a good instinct based on who
or
you
good
trust.
good intuition.
That too.
Yeah, so like I just trusted people. Oh yeah, okay. My neighbor, I don't know him. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. And then my new neighbor, oh yeah. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, you know, I think God just kind of blessed me to have some of those people, and we all do. We have people that come into our life that like that I feel like come in life at the right time to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You also have to realize that and take advantage of that situation.
Yeah.
Not take advantage per se, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
act. It's like being in a relationship.
Strike while the oil's hot.
Yeah, but it's like being in a relationship. Like why? And some dudes get like so bummed, and me too. I got bummed. Like, oh, my ex chick, blah blah. And then I meet the next girl that's even better. You're like, well, that happened because it's like sponsorship. You could lose one sponsor, and then all of a sudden you're on the next team. Like TJ Rogers, right? Like Blind is amazing, and Bill Weiss is amazing. He's like, oh, this sucks, it's kind of falling apart. Now he's with Skate Mafia, even a better fit. And at the time, you're like, and I don't mean to put him on blast. He's one of my good friends. I'm just saying, and dude, he fucking kills it, right? But I'm just saying, in life, sometimes you look at things like could be a negative, and then if you start focusing on the negative, it's going to bring you down a weird rabbit trap of like, but also you almost got to like think like, all right, like this is a blessing. There's going to be something that's coming good for me, and then visualize like really what you want and bring that into your reality.
Because when the door closes, if the door doesn't close, there's no opportunity for another door to open.
And that's
so
true,
to speak.
and that's true. But also like the power of the mind and the power of
you got to be optimistic. You got to be.
You do, but you also got to be law of attraction. The Secret. Have you seen The Secret?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It sounds crazy, but like what you believe and where you put your vibes at, what you're going to attract.
Sure.
So if you're bummed on something, you're losing a sponsor or a girlfriend or whatever it is, dude, you're going to put yourself down a negative mind,
which is
channel.
so easy to do.
And then you get to a certain point, you're like trying to dig yourself out there. You're like, ah, shit.
How funny is that? It's easier to get into a negative mindset than a positive one.
Yeah. But that happens, and that happened with me too. Like, you know, I remember like one of the girls I dated, like I'm trying to do all these things to fix it. Like, dude, like if I would just have been like, if actually I would have done nothing, she would have been running back, right? Instead, like you try too hard, right? It's same with anything in life, you know. I think there's just certain things in your life that you you learn from, and just like and then you just learn to like kind of go with the flow of like, all right, this will work, and the way it's working should be the way it's working, because there's something in the future that you look at like, and then you look back, you're like, it all happened the way it should have.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Like why was they on Krooked, or you know what I mean? Like it all worked the way it should have worked.
For sure.
And not fight that, you know?
Yeah.
No,
so it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show.
That was a lot, dude.
It was good. We unpacked a lot, and I think it's rad because like I didn't know that too much about like the inside life of Greg Lutzka, you know. And I don't think a lot of people do. This print is so funny because like I never really read interviews back in the day. If it was my favorite skater, I would read the interview, but for the most part, I wouldn't, right? And I think that's what's rad about this podcast is being able to talk and learn about somebody, you know?
Yeah, like, and to be open-minded and like talk about different things. I think dude, it's been amazing being here.
Thank you.
I think I just hit another skate spot. Like in my mind, I'm like
you just hit El Toro?
Like, dude, this one has definitely been an awesome journey, and it's a pleasure being here for sure. Like,
first of all,
super stoked.
Thanks for coming.
And thank you, Kelly, for putting this together.
No, I'm a hype, dude. Thank you for coming.
If we could get you some 9 Club stuff to take home with you,
yeah.
Can we do the honors, bro?
I would love that.
What size t-shirts?
Extra large.
Extra large.
Yeah,
man.
Is that a Tom Penny?
Yes, it's an oil painting that one of our fans made and sent us over.
We just got that recently.
That's cool.
We've had it for a long time.
Was it in the cuts?
We brought it. Broke it.
Last name Arnold?
Beautiful.
Sorry, I just want to say his name.
I forget. We'll look when you get back. Funny, sitting here. You walked in the show. I said, listen, we never really met each other, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We did do the Red Bull Seek and Destroy.
Oh, we did.
Remember?
Oh my gosh, we did.
But we didn't really hang out though. I was on Team LA, me and Joey Brzezinski.
Oh, with Joey.
It was Kenny and Ragdoll and you and
who? TK. Was it me, TK?
No, was it?
Hold on, was it me, TK? think it was. And Terry went to Vegas and spent a shit ton of money on gambling.
Really?
No way.
I think it was me and
don't
TK.
remember. Okay, somebody's gonna have
There
to.
was 4 teams, right?
Yes.
Hoops,
No.
Hoops filmed.
Me and Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, you and Kenny. Did you guys stay at the Queen?
Me and Joey, Kenny and Ragdoll, and then
Okay.
you.
I swear it was
Who
TK.
else was it?
Was it not TK? I think it was TK.
I don't remember him being there, to be honest.
Maybe I did
with
2
you.
of them.
You might have.
Might have done 2 of them.
Raj, can you see? Find it? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
the
that's
Seek and Destroy
one.
tour. I
That's
remember
maybe
that with
2.
Red Bull.
Was it 1 or 2?
Yeah, I think it was 2.
Did you ride for Red Bull?
No.
Me neither.
No.
How did we get on that?
I don't know.
Things just happen.
Naraka put that
I was
together.
hoping.
Yeah, it was. It was. Hey,
Chris
Peacemaker.
Naracco.
it was because of Chris Narak. I don't even know.
Here's the
Red
video.
Bull.
It was
Here's
number
the
2.
video. Okay.
Was
this
it
is-
2?
It's very bad quality. Yeah, we just Joey
Yeah.
and
Oh, that's
Joey, but
the
then who-
Belmont.
let's see.
Belmont spot.
But I want to watch the whole thing. But wait, who? I want to know who was on your team. How come this is all me and?
I swear
Joey.
it was me, TK, and
It's like all Joe. Oh, here you go.
and Rob. There was another kid. I forget.
But
his
we.
name.
I think the point we.
Where
we,
did you stay on the Queen Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was haunted.
It was haunted. I
Bro,
know.
the TV
I know.
turned on and off. Joey would be
Hey.
like, "Yo, what are you doing, dude?" And the door slammed shut
this,
on us.
Check this
Yeah,
out.
right.
Yeah.
It's
No.
crazy.
Check this out.
100%.
Check this out. I was supposed to stay there. No one, like I was basically, we had our own rooms, right? And I didn't have a chick at the time. I was just sleeping there, like I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this. I went in there. I felt like I have good.
felt it.
I felt like something did not feel right.
Oh,
And-
you were
and-
sharing a room with your
teammate
TK or whatever. Yeah.
No,
Me and Joey were sharing a room.
You did? Well,
yeah.
that sucks.
Actually, I'm glad because
No.
I would have been on your board.
Hey,
man.
I'll
I
be
would've- I
honest.
would've drove-
So
I would've drove home.
so at the time I lived in Huntington.
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
like, you know what? I'm not staying here. Hoops was filming that video at the time. So he's like, screw it. I'll bring Brandy there and we'll stay in the Queen Mary.
Bro.
Dude, they left at 4 a.m. He had weird vibes too in there. I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
Yeah, because I
No
asked him the next day.
way.
I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I didn't feel good. Like we both felt like for real.
It was weird though, because
crazy.
like I
Yeah.
said, the TV would turn off, and Joey was like, "Yo, I'm watching that. What are you doing?"
It's
I'm
almost
"I
like the
didn't-"
hotel would like do it on purpose. Like, let's just
Yeah.
scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But then, like,
I think it's
the
true.
But it's
timer,
also
dude.
like a boat because
Yeah.
our door slammed shut.
Did it?
With the-
Yeah.
and I'm like, well,
I
we
just
are on
remember-
a boat, but
You're
the
trying
boat.
to like rationalize
So
this.
you
Yeah, but it was
felt
weird.
You
It
felt
was-
weird there too.
it was
Okay.
It was
Okay.
Weird.
So it wasn't just me.
No, it was bizarre.
I
Yeah.
stayed there
There's a
too. I
reason
didn't
they say
care.
that.
You didn't feel weird?
No.
Nothing.
Maybe I was.
But I think there's different floors too. I heard that are kind of like I don't know. I won't.
By the way, it was TK.
It was TK.
It was.
See, I told you it was TK.
Dude,
Yeah.
first of all, hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Greg, dude. Hey,
Yeah.
pleasure, bro. We had a good conversation. It was
definitely.
good. It was fun, dude.
Stoked to be here,
That was
yeah.
super dope.
But
man.
this is some 9 Club stuff we want to take home with some
Cool.
socks.
With some
Keep,
stance,
stance
collab.
sock,
I love
you
it.
know what I'm saying?
They make the best
Take
socks,
those,
too. Yeah.
Coffee in the morning. Coffee,
All
tea
right.
guy.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah,
Some
perfect.
9
Thank
Club
you, brother.
Coffee mug. And listen, you're out there, man. Stay hydrated when you're out
Yes,
filming these
you need
TV
to.
shows.
Put the aqua hydrate in there.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully, put
Keep
the
it cold.
hydrate right here on this
And
table.
we got
as
some
well.
9
Oh.
Club tea right here.
The
Boom.
OG.
The college print right
That's
there,
sick.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. And thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on the show. Hey,
Yeah.
you're welcome back anytime. If you got more stories
Yeah.
or another,
Let's do it.
something else
Yeah.
to talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come by.
Me and John are gonna go golfing here soon.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
Definitely will
Let's
do
go,
that.
So-
dude.
And then Chris wants to go back to the Queen Mary. So
You guys can share a room.
No, I'll leave at 4 in the morning.
yeah.
No, it's been great, Greg.
Thank you for
so
having
much
me.
for
Bro.
cruising in, bro.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.